Hello, hello. Let's get the audio check done. Get it out of the way. I got my thinking cap. I got my thinking cap back on. Right. Audio's great. Excellent. Move my keyboard over. Center this little microphone just a little bit more. Yeah, we had a great time with Dave. Want to do some more like that. I got a long list of people to add to the Archaix invite list. I haven't had a chance to really answer my latest emails. I've got a few invites to some large pretty interesting channels. One of them I've never even heard of. I almost said no because I seen Mini Vanilli was on there, but they talk about such a wide diversity of topics that I shouldn't be offended. Jeffrey, I cannot believe on Twitter you asked me if I was quoting somebody. I cannot believe that. I had to repost that after you probably haven't been on X since you made that statement, Jeffrey. Shame on you, man. I just seen you in the chat. I don't know where you're hiding now. You seen it, Nelson? Yeah. Couldn't believe he asked me that. What? Where did that come from? All right. There he is. There's Jeffrey. Oh man, no apology necessary. I'm just making fun. Okay, so for the first order of business is I was in an antique shop and I could not believe I found these vintage Star Wars trilogy little movie cards. Oh man, they're so awesome. I think that one's upside down. They all got stuff on the front and back. Every one of them's got a different front and a different back. So I'm going to go ahead and photograph all these as well. You guys know it's a lot. It's a lot. That's a lot of cards. There's a lot more down here. But yeah, I'll photograph all these. You guys know I'm putting together an epic Star Wars breakdown. And in one video, it might go 4 hours, but in one video, we're going to go through Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and The Return of the Jedi, and we're going to do it all on September 16th. And I can't tell you why. But I can't do it on September 15th, and I can't do it on September 17th. It's got to be September 16th. You will understand the day we do this video. But don't think I'm not preparing. I already bought all 3 movies to watch them again from Amazon Prime. They're all on my laptop. I didn't rent them. I just went in and bought them. I've got all my little old tiny Star Wars trivia books. All kinds of interesting little things I've got. You guys know it's some old used bookstores. I went and got the originals. I went and got the original from 1977 paperbacks in 1978 and in 1980. I got some original hardcovers from the 70s. Here's the Empire Strikes Back original hardcover. I'm doing my homework, guys. I'm doing my homework. I have been catching all kinds of really interesting things that I would have never noticed in the 80s when I was fascinated with these movies. Never noticed. And of course, I recently bought this real nice hardback, really well put together of the original Star Wars trilogy. I'm reading that too. I don't want to just read the condensed versions. I want to read the actual books. So that was pretty cool. By the time I do this video, I'm going to be Star Wars'd out. Thank you, Jay Hart. Jay Hart sent me this. Jay Hart, bless her heart. She sends me lunch boxes like I'm 14 years old. Bless your heart, J Hart. Yeah, man, I got this. It's pretty nice. I'll take all the pictures out of this too. Got some good commentaries and notes. So yeah, I'm in my spare time, in the evenings is when I do most of my reading. Sometimes in the afternoons, we're real hot. Yeah, my schedule, as you guys know, is I pretty much put out a video on Archaix every other day. Every other day. Some of my videos require a lot of preparation. You know, the data dumps, they're meticulous. And then others, like when I interviewed Flat Earth Dave, that's doesn't require any preparation on my part. I know my material. If my material is anything that we're going to end up discussing, I already know it. It's no big deal. I don't have to prepare. So when I have guests, it frees up my time to do other things. And I live my life every other day. You know, my life is my community on one day. And then the next day I'm doing other things in my personal life, taking care of, you know, whatever needs to be taken care of for me to move forward in life and in Archaix. So on the days that I don't do videos, which frees up more time to do a video the next day. So you guys know I've been, except for recently when I did 4 or 5 videos straight back to back to back, that was for a reason. I did that for a reason, introducing a new series. But ordinarily, it's every other day. You can pretty much expect something's going to get dropped on Archaix. All right. Lisa. No, I'm not married. No, I do not have kids. Let's see. All right. I've been on fire. Thank you, Crystal. So we have a lot of people to discuss. And the reason that I titled this video the way I did is because this is going to go in the opposite direction of what you're used to hearing from me. I am very critical of people who have put themselves basically in the public forum, because in the Greek world, the public forum, hey, it's every man to himself. You get on one of those little stump pillars they had for speakers, and people started gravitating to you and they started listening to your message and all that, you better be ready to defend your position when somebody walks into the forum and listens to you and isn't feeling what you're talking about. Yeah, the forum was where all information exchange, deals were done. The forum, I even have a video called the Greek Forum or the Archaix Forum where I describe all this stuff. Well, it has long been my habit to isolate those individuals that I think are deliberately putting misinformation in the field because of refusals to debate, refusals to even acknowledge. I mean, it says a lot when you attack people who have millions of views across dozens of platforms, multiple published books, but they won't publicly defend their positions when you attack the integrity of their research. Yeah, I'm not just a nobody. I've got 13 books published. I am an author and have been long before I was a YouTuber. My YouTube success is because of how meticulous my research is. Believe me, Graham Hancock has heard my name many times. We have mutual friends, and so has Billy Carson, Jimmy Corsetti, and I. We've exchanged things, even though it always goes south. Listen, these guys, the very fact that they won't come to the table is very revealing. But what's even more revealing about their position is that not one of them have ever publicly attacked me. Therefore, I have to conclude they're all controlled by somebody who is telling them do not engage. Have to. But this has been the norm since the inception of my channel. With this video, I'm breaking precedent a little bit, and I feel that it's time to start isolating those individuals I think bring value to the field. You're probably going to be surprised by some of the names that are on my list. But you guys have provided some names too, and you're going to need to educate me because I don't know who these people are. So I've been critical of a whole lot of people, but it's ordinarily, except on very few occasions with Mr. Carson and Billy Corsetti, my critiques are of people's research, not their personality. Now, when it comes to Corsetti and Billy Carson, yes, it was straight personality quirks that also offended me, and had a lot to do with the fact that in trying to maintain a modicum of professionalism, it seems to be really below the belt to bring up a 17-year-old's criminal history, thinking that that defends your position in some way. And Billy Carson did that to me, and so did Jimmy Corsetti. But that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't even matter. Neither one of these men are relative to the discussion anymore. They have removed themselves from the equation. But with Graham Hancock, it's not personal. It's his information. With Randall Carlson, it's not personal. It's his information. And there are others. There are others who bring value to the field, have really good books, really good research, made some compelling observations, but they're attaching their output to a chronological model that is easily dismantled. One of those is Michael Tellinger. Michael Tellinger has some really good research out there, really good books. Matter of fact, I'll show you one here in a minute. I believe I have African Temples of the Anunnaki or something like that. I got it right here. But he brings value to the field in other areas. But when it comes to chronological stuff, you guys already know it may be a character fault of my own. I'll admit that. But when it comes to chronological matters, I'm not going to be ignored. And I'm going to come with guns blazing, and I am going to overwhelm people with source materials, common sense, logic, and calculations from a calculator in order to show that the Archaix chronology of the world is absolutely accurate. And until this date, still not one person has ever come forward trying to show an alternate chronology of the world that would even compare to the Archaix timeline. So many people bring value to the field. So let's talk about them today. We're going to name names today. I kind of laughed at some of your suggestions. I'm going to tell you why. I found some of them pretty humorous. You named a couple people that I didn't even know were still alive. Didn't even know they were still alive. I should have invited to my channel a long time ago. Let's see. Let me get these little video clips out of my way. So I do have one announcement. Yeah, that announcement is, I mentioned it the other day, is a friend of mine, a friend of Alt Skull, a friend of all the other paranormies. He died in a car accident, and he left behind a wife and a son. I'm talking about Reinhardt. And I've done probably 6 or 7 presentations with Reinhardt. I've been a guest 3 times on the Paranormies. The Paranormies have been a guest 3 or 4 times on Archaix TV, Discord, and YouTube. We have a really good relationship. I like those guys. Reinhardt was a centerpiece in making all that happen. So you can imagine our mutual friend Alt Skull. He's always posting on Twitter. He's really hard hit by this. They're going to be doing the funeral. And real quick, I'm going to post this right now in the chat, and I'm going to ask my moderators to continually post this through the entire video. I just dropped it in the chat, but this is Reinhardt's for his wife and son. You guys know, man, funerals are expensive. This I don't do this often. Maybe 3 times in the 1,000 videos that I have on YouTube have I ever solicited my community, and it's never been for me. It's always to help something. I would appreciate, hey, $1, $100, whatever you can do. But he's a mutual friend to a lot of people, and now he's gone. And I just posted the link to Reinhardt's Give Send Go link. It's right there. And if every once in a while one of my moderators will pick that up and just keep reposting it, I really appreciate it. I say they're going to be able to see my name on it, because as soon as the show's over, I'm going to click onto it and I'm going to donate something. I lead by example, guys, in everything I do. So also, I will put it in the description box. Anyway, rest in peace, Reinhardt. And hey, man, our positive energy goes out to the survivors and all of his friends. All right, let's see. Sojourn, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know about Zell working with that. I don't know. Okay, so first on the list, first of all, there's always a silent let me get this out of the way. There's always a silent body of listeners that never engage. Some of these people think that I may not approve of their material, or they mostly don't approve of something about me, and that's all good. That's all good. But I don't want anybody to be misinformed and think that the names that we're going to give today are in order of precedence, and that somebody mentioned in the end of this list means that they're less important than somebody who was mentioned in the body of the list. This list was just put together by me interacting with my community over the past week, since I asked my community on X and on Twitter and on YouTube for everyone that they think should be a guest on Archaix, and why. And I agree with a lot of them. I can't agree with some of them because I don't even know who these people are. So we'll talk about that right now. First of all, there is no way that Mr. David Icke would ever be denied entry to Archaix. I've told you guys my life story, and you know that he was integral in the 90s to waking me up and pulling me out of 40 years of Southern Baptist programming. So I've read 2, maybe 3 of his books. And that's the only experience I had. My David Icke experience was literary. All I did was read his books because I was in prison. I didn't have access to TV that showed David Icke, or documentaries, or back then it would have been VHS tapes and all. I didn't have that. all I had were the books. And the books are fantastic. So, and I've told you guys many times throughout the Archaix presentations in the last 5 years, you guys know I'm a young channel. Not a young researcher. I've been in this for a very long time. But as far as a YouTuber, I've only been doing this 5 years. So, yeah, David Icke, I will be, anybody I mention, Big John and I will be reaching out personally. This isn't just an invitation verbal on the deal. Like I said, this is about breaking pattern. So this is a whole new echelon of Archaix. I'm being more open to talking to more people. But we will be personally sending emails out to every single person we mentioned today. Now, if they say no, that's fine. All that's good. If they ghost us, that's fine too. But I will always be able to tell my community we made the effort. So David Icke, yes, he's definitely one we'll be reaching out to. Let's see. Oh, surprise, Greg Braden. I'll be reaching out to Greg Braden. I don't have any problems with Greg Braden. He's not a chronologist. Almost no one on this list is really an expert in my field. None of them on this list. But they have value in other areas for which I lack. I will freely admit that. Greg Braden, though, has some really good spiritual material. He does delve into the occult. He likes to talk about quantum physics and the unreality of our existence and all that. So Greg Braden would be a very interesting discussion. He may even toy with simulation theory, or at least the idea that we're in some type of construct. I don't know. All I do know is that the two little pieces that I read composed by Greg Braden were very spiritual. Were pretty interesting. So he will be hearing from us. Do I want to talk about his version of Atlantis, Ancient Aliens? No, absolutely not. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in anything that does not comport at all with verifiable chronological research that I've put out ad nauseum. No. But as far as some of the spiritual material, mysticism, the occult, government conspiracy, all that stuff. Yeah, Greg Braden is pretty knowledgeable in those topics. I believe I passed by his place very closely one time in New Mexico, but I don't know. I don't know how he feels about simulation theory. Because you remember, guys, I only made 2 promises from the very beginning of my channel. 1, I'm always going to tell the truth, no matter how much it hurts. And 2, I'm always going to wrap the history of the world the best way I can and show you that the entire chronological history of the world as we know it and have documented it today is absolute proof that we're living in some type of mathematical construct, because it could have never unfolded the way that it mathematically has. And yet we can easily document it, show it, verify all the material, provide overwhelming source materials for every period, and it just can't be true. It's too mathematically perfect. It is as if everything prior to 200 or 300 years ago is completely AI generated. This is what the Archaix output shows, and yet in the generative AI output of our history, there are all kinds of cycles and epicycles that teach us things. There's all kinds of information in the field of history that allows us to understand the trajectory that we're on right now. This is all I've ever wanted to do with Archaix, is show from the historical record that we are in some type of simulation. And 2, always tell the truth. So when I see others attempting to tell their truths to the best of their ability, I can put aside a lot of the things that we disagree on in order to concentrate on those things that we are amenable to. So, yeah. So that's David Icke and that's Greg Braden right there. I'm before I start asking you who some of these people are, I just want to go through this list of those that I am familiar with. Oh, somebody mentioned Phoebe. Phoebe just mentioned Joseph Farrell. Okay, I'll let you anticipate me. I will let you anticipate me. Joseph Farrell, where are you at, bro? Man, hold on. Y'all bear with me. You talking about this Joseph Farrell? That's the Joseph Farrell you're talking about? I'm pretty sure it is. Man's very interesting. Got some really good things in these books. Yes, he is absolutely going to be invited to come on Archaix. Yeah. Do we disagree on some of the particulars? Yeah, of course. But I think a lot of the people that I disagree with, if they were just to hear me out on the Ice Age, on the Graham Hancock dating, the Younger Dryas period, if they were just to hear me out on how all that information absolutely collapses upon chronological analysis, if they were just to hear me out, they would realize that their own theories and models of history are actually more, they empower their positions more than anything. Because a lot of these guys, they just all borrowed into an alt media chronological narrative that was gaining traction. So everybody jumped on board, and nobody wanted to go against it because it was so established with Graham Hancock. It was so established, this Younger Dryas Atlantis, this Younger Dryas impact hypothesis, this Ice Age, meltwater pulse 1b, all of this was so well established, and yet it's tenuous. It just completely collapses with just 2 or 3 questions. So, but as far as that, all this other information in Giza Death Star, I haven't read The Cosmic War yet, but I should have started with it, apparently. But yeah, Joseph Farrell, he reminds me a lot of Andrew Lloyd, who wrote Dark Star and Darker Stars, who lays out the entire the nemesis model of our solar system and all that, showing it's a binary and one of the stars has collapsed into a dark star. That's Andrew Lloyd. You know what? I need to add him to the list. But yeah, that's Joseph Farrell right there. So thanks for mentioning him. Already had his books out. We will invite. Oh, speaking of books, how about somebody else I'll be inviting to the channel who I've actually spoke to one time in my early years. I did a podcast with Campbell, Autodidactic, and Howdy Mikowski. Now, Howdy and I, we differ a lot on the soul trap model, quite a bit. But in the pursuit of the idea that history is an invention and history as it's come down to us in the collective is totally false, Howdy Mikowski and I have a lot in common. But even more so, we don't have to talk about chronology or history. We can invite Howdy to the channel because this man's got, here it is right here, The Power of Then and Falling for the Truth. These are Howdy Mikowski books. I was really impressed with, you know what? He He can completely just not talk about history and just talk about personal philosophy, soul philosophy, the spirit journey, spirituality. Heidi Mikowski is really good at that. We can invite him on the channel for that. I mean, I'll let him talk about history too. I don't care what he talks about, but I'm just saying these are what I feel is greatest value. Now, he does have some compelling arguments for strange things happening in the 1800s. There's no doubt. Here's another book. Exposing the Expositions. That's Heidi Mikowski. You guys know my take on that. This book was 2021. I don't know, man. I did a lot. You guys know I have the original publications from the 1800s when those expositions were done. They published the hardback book that show all the stuff. So I mean, I got a whole bunch of these books, and I just couldn't find anything really anomalous. But then again, you never know. You never know. So Heidi Mikowski absolutely will be getting an invitation. Let's see. Of course. Come on, Otto. Michael Tsarion is more than welcome at any time. As a matter of fact, there's only 3 channels. When you go to Archaix, let me show you. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to share my screen. Let me show you guys something. Let me show you upstarts something. All right. Before I share my screen, let me go find it. All right. Here it is. Let's go to home. All right. So let me share my screen so you can see what I see. Since we're talking about Michael Tsarion, I did this a few months ago. Share screen. I had a little interview today with some YouTube people. Anybody who's in the YouTube partnership program, we have these little powwows where they help you with your channel. Had one right before this video. All right. So you guys see right here, this is my channel on Archaix. 991 videos, 176,000 subscribers. I just saw this last night. Look at that. Oh my God, what's going on? I'm almost at 30 million views. Man, I wonder what video is going to do that. I'm going to have to figure out what video does. Might be my Star Wars video. 30 million views. All right, this is what I wanted to show you. When you go to my channel on YouTube, you can scroll down. Just scroll straight down. There it is right there. Featured channels. Of course, you're always going to see Martin Leakey there. There he is. Martin Leakey. Look at that chipper face. There's Unslaved podcast right there. Michael Tsarion. It's been there for a few months. I just never really made the announcement. Phalorn Saga is still there. That's my other channel. I'm going to turn it into Archaix for Kids. All right. Let me get back out of here. Quit sharing again. All right. Stop sharing. I just wanted to show you guys that. That's been up there for a while. I would have more featured ones. I just never really bothered with going through all that stuff. So we have Mr. Mikowski, Heidi Mikowski. So the next person on my list is one somebody just mentioned in the chat, Sabrina Wallace. Now, it was my understanding, and I don't know where I got this understanding, is that Sabrina was kind of just doing her own thing on BitChute and wasn't interested in doing any podcasts and interviews. Now, Sabrina and I have a mutual friend. That mutual friend delivered to her some of my published books, which I'm kind of embarrassed about because all my books were written 20 years ago, and they don't reflect the man I am today or the level of research I've done today. But that's okay. Chronicon does, because I just finished reviewing Chronicon Before the Flood, and my publisher just finished it, and it's going to be awesome. So Chronicon is so huge that my publisher is releasing part 1 of 4. It's going to be the 3,000 years leading up to the to the collapse of the vapor canopy, 2239 BC in the month of May. So Chronicon is huge. It's 4 books, and book 1 gets released like within a month. Okay, now Sabrina Wallace, she gets into some highly sophisticated technical stuff. She'd probably be a good addition to my cipher group. Excuse me. I caught a bug last night. I normally have really fast recovery, but man, I woke up with a headache. My bones, my muscles kind of ached. I've had a runny nose. I'm like 3,000 milligrams of C1000s. I drank 3 C1000s back to back. I took my ancient nutrition supplements. I've been paying attention to my pill bottles and not taking the wrong pills like I did in Vegas. But yeah, on Michelle, I took some turmeric, and I got these vegetable pills, like every vegetable known to man, and black seed oil pills. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now. This morning I felt like absolute crap. I'm feeling a whole lot better right now, especially after this being my second cup of coffee of the day. The Greek, that is somebody I need back on the channel. I need to add him to the list. Let me add him to the list right now, the Greek. I'm sorry I can't remember his full name. The Greek needs to come back. Sabrina Wallace needs to come on the channel. I'm going to be sending a personal invitation like I do with everybody else. And I'd like to see if she wants to come and talk. If not, I may extend her. I may comp her a membership to my cipher group. This is a date sequence predictive analytics software, and the 8th iteration of the software was just dropped to all the members. All of them were able to download it to their own laptops, and it is the largest upgrade to the software since it started, and everybody in the cipher group's excited about it. It was tailored. The new drop was tailored to be detail specific to people being able to choose which parts of the algorithm, which parts of the features, which parts of the filters that they want to use for whatever they're measuring. We got people studying crypto, the different markets, stocks, all the different sports, people using it for personal and professional predictions. And there's many people in my chat right now who are also members of Cypher. Jesse Howe, why'd you mention Jesse? Let me tell you about Jesse Howe. He just recently invited me to come on to a space on Twitter, but I'm super busy. He caught me at the worst possible time, and but that doesn't mean I won't do it. But you remember the last time I talked to Jesse Howe? I invited him on my channel, and the entire time I'm sitting here trying to talk to that man, he's making a salad. Y'all remember he's sitting there cutting up stuff? And it's like, man, this ain't a cooking show, bro. Yeah, man. I know y'all remember that. But no, yeah, Jesse Howe's good. Jesse Howe is a good one to add, because a lot of these guys that interviewed me in my early years, they should come on Archaix and explain what they do, because just because you're an interviewer and you don't really have research material of your own, that's not your venue. There are many people on YouTube who don't really do anything but interview other people. This is what they get. One of them, case in point, that I would like to mention, who I forgot to put on this list, is Jeff Mara. I like Jeff Mara. Jeff Mara's got good energy, man. But Jeff Mara's not really a researcher, but he's got some very compelling guests. Now, you guys know I'm real hypercritical of many of the OBEs and NDEs, but I have not disqualified them. There are people telling the truth, and I have mentioned that. But because it is the type of information that it is, and none of it can be verifiable, yes, you're going to have a lot of grifters taking advantage of that. So you just have to go with your intuition. when you're listening to these guests on Jeff Mara and try to figure out which ones are genuinely telling you the truth and which ones are just fabricating a bunch of freestyling a bunch of stuff because their 2 previous attempts at social media bombed out. So they come up with a whole new idea. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Mini Vanilli. So, yeah, so I'd like Jeff Mara, and I would like Jeff Mara to come on my show right here in Archaix and tell my community, for all those who don't know, because the Jeff Mara podcast is pretty cool. They got some pretty interesting guests that will tell you some things that will make you think. There's no doubt. I'm going to add Jeff Mara to the list. I remembered him because somebody said Jesse Howell. So we got David Icke, Greg Braden, Howdy Mikowski, the Greek, Sabrina Wallace. So who is Dane Kirk? Somebody submitted Dane Kirk. His channel is Saturn Rooster. Hey, you know what? Ain't no sense in not looking him up. Shoot. Let's go to Saturn. Let's go look up Saturn Rooster real quick and see what we see. In Saturn Rooster. All right, that's a real small channel. And while that won't disqualify somebody, you got to put some work out in order for people to take you seriously. Yeah, I had 300 videos out before I even had 1,000 subs. So Saturn Rooster looks, if this is the right one, it's real small. 786 subscribers and only 17 videos. All right. So somebody needs to tell me why Saturn Rooster. I'm not saying no. Somebody gives me a good reason why to reach down like this to somebody who has literally just began. Oh no, wait a minute. Every video here's 1 month old. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos are all 1 month old, and 3 videos are all exactly 1 year old. There's something wrong with this channel. That's like the Mspiracy channel that I found. Everybody's telling me to go to Mspiracy. I went and looked her up, and she's total 100% AI. All her content AI generated. There's nobody in the world that knowledgeable as she is. That's all generated information that's taken off of other YouTube channels, other researchers, harvested from books, and run through filters and ChatGPT to create an image. Looks like a beautiful woman talking, and at the same time, give her backgrounds and then give her text. Everything is 100% AI on a whole bunch of these new channels. Saturn Rooster, I'm going to have to say no until you guys just give me a real good reason. No good. So, AK, you are scared of the truth. Moderators, keep your eye on that one right there, man. We got zero tolerance here. I don't know who he's talking to. Let's see. Mohammed Mo Gadat is an Egyptian software engineer. That could be interesting. That could be interesting. So I'm reading a comment right here. It says, immortal. Somebody called immortal. Says Jason insulted Ken Wheeler. I don't think he would be willing. Well, you're going to have to prove that. You can't just throw something else out there. If that's true, you should be able to provide an audio clip, or you should be able to provide a screenshot, or you can get off my channel with that BS. Because I've never insulted Ken Wheeler. I actually said that his material is way too far above my head for me to comprehend and understand. That's what I said about Ken Wheeler. So you can be shown the door real quick. Let's see. Mohammed Mo Gadat is an Egyptian software engineer. That could be a very good video, because we already know that AI is BS. We really know that AI is BS. It's an increase in process power. The elite are not heading toward artificial intelligence. We're already inside an artificially intelligent we're already inside an artificially intelligent environment. So, you know, God's a jealous God. God, the AI, is not going to allow for us to build another AI inside here. We can get close, but we're not going to get all the way there. That's not going to happen. So we covered, so we got Joseph Farrell on the list. We got a long list here, guys. So anybody knows anything about Mohammed Gadat, this Egyptian software engineer, and why would somebody want him to be on the list? I got Mark Passio on the list. I just haven't got to his name yet. Let's see. Jay Dyer. I don't know. I know the name. I don't know who he is. Yeah, Eric Dubé and Michelle Gibson. Michelle Gibson's been on my channel before. Eric Dubé is he's more than welcome. I don't even know who Ken McClellan is. But I do have Seven Bomar already on the list. I've talked to Seven on the phone before. Still not seeing anything about this Muhammad guy. Ha! I got Mario Biglio's book right here. And that's good. Oh, okay. Juan V says he'll never come on your channel. He's too mainstream. I don't like mainstream people anyway. Let's see. So let's see. Jesse Howe, Jeff Morrow, Michael Tassara. Man, here's another name I vaguely know. Rupert Sheldrake. Why do I know that name? Rupert Sheldrake. Okay, remind me who Rupert Sheldrake. Rupert. I think I've had Topher on my channel before. I didn't know he's still around. Rupert Sheldrake. Anybody? I'm just looking at the chat like you guys are. Rupert Sheldrake. Uh-oh, my buddy Jeff Stout says he's great. Well, that says it all right there. I need to go ahead and put him on the list. Jeff Stout, you need to come on my channel and you need to tell these people how I was a bad actor when I was a teenager. Because you're the only one here that knows. I was something serious in my teenage years. Just for old time's sake, you ought to come on the channel. So Rupert Sheldrake worked with Terrence McKenna. That right there qualifies him, no doubt. Okay. I got Rupert Sheldrake on the list then, with Michelle Gibson's right underneath that on the list. She's been on the channel before, but she was collaborating with some guy, and he was kind of getting most of the attention directed his way. I think I should invite Michelle Gibson by herself to come onto the channel and talk about her extensive research, because she has a lot. That's all right. Rupert Sheldrake may not be in my wheelhouse, but then again, Susie, you don't know. I may surprise you. So David Wilcock is different from David Wilcox, right? Ashton Forbes is already on the list. He's also already been on my channel. He's more than welcome to come back. But this is the two I get confused. There's David Wilcock, who's basically an okay guy. And then there's David Wilcox, who's a part of the Patriot Pacification Galactic Federation BS. With that other dude, man. There's so many of them. There's so many of them. I can't remember all their names. Ismail Perez, Galactic Federation, ex-CIA. Michael Jaco, ex-CIA, Galactic Federation, Patriot Pacification Program. Man, they all got the same MO, man. It's crazy. No, none of them are coming. None of them are coming on the channel at all. But David Wilcock, he's different than David Wilcox. I just don't know who he is. I don't know who he is. I haven't seen anybody tell me who David Wilcock is. Jay Hart, not David Wilcock. Galactic Fed. No, that's David Wilcox, Jay Hart. There are two different guys. One of them is David Wilcock, and the other one is David Wilcox. And I can't remember. I just can't remember who's who. So I'm gonna leave them off the list until somebody can yes. Robert Seffer's on the list. Robert Seffer has got some intriguing stuff. Here's 3 of his books right here. This is Robert Seffer. That's Robert Seffer. Species and Amnesia. He got that from Immanuel Velikovsky. That's Robert Seffer. And this is Seffer as well. Gods and Amnesia. Both these titles, Gods and Amnesia and Species and Amnesia, these are kind of like borrowings from Immanuel Velikovsky, which puts Robert Seffer in the, I like that word, wheelhouse, in my wheelhouse. Guys, we have to watch out for any modern researchers who are going to be putting out a whole bunch of material, but there are men in the field, erudite men, who have put out research that is phenomenal. It's never been overturned, and yet all these modern authors aren't mentioning them. Now, Seffer's not guilty of that, but Graham Hancock is. Yeah, Graham Hancock, Andrew Collins, all these guys that are pushing this younger Dryas narrative of Atlantis and stuff. Let me show you what they won't. Let me show you what they won't cite. This is Mankind and Amnesia by Immanuel Velikovsky. This is Ages in Chaos by Immanuel Velikovsky. You need to always watch out for any YouTubers or anybody in the social media or any authors who are putting out material on the ancient world and all that, and they never cite Velikovsky. That's a huge red flag. Yeah. Graham Hancock's not going to do it because Velikovsky completely collapses all that BS. Immanuel Velikovsky, Worlds in Collision. Huge book. Immanuel Velikovsky, right here. Earth and Upheaval. Here's the Velikovsky heresies. Why the scientific world hate this guy. So you need to be very, very wary. This is a good little lesson here. Immanuel Velikovsky, if he's never mentioned and he's ignored in different books, that's a huge red flag. You need to be wary of these guys like Colin Wilson, Rand Flemeth. You need to watch out. These are nothing but repackaged Graham Hancock, and none of them can defend the integrity of their positions. None of them. Yeah, these books suck. Yeah, here's another Andrew Collins from the Ashes of Angels. Real good research in other departments, but when it comes to chronology, they all go with that 20,000 to 13,000 years ago. Super civilization did all these things, and it's all BS. It's all zodiacal dating. You already know. Don't trigger me. You already know about my research on the solar zodiac and how far that goes back. Even other researchers I just showed recently on YouTube, they're completely critical of Graham Hancock because there's absolutely no solar zodiac known anywhere in the world prior to the 7th century BC. They even said it in their research. They said Graham Hancock can't sit here and just say that little scorpion effigy on Göbekli Tepe is proof of the age of Scorpio and then date everything to an age of Taurus just because they're killing bulls and stuff. He said, it's bullshit because you totally skipped over the age of Gemini. Where's the age of Gemini and all the legends and all the lore and all the archaeoastronomy and all that? Where's the legends of Cancer? That's what these other researchers are saying. Yeah, it says you're skipping the Legends of Cancer and the Epic of Cancer and the Epic of Gemini to jump all the way over here to the Epic of Taurus and the Epic of Leo, and say all these things are 13, 12, and 11,000 BC. It says you skipped all this and provided not an ounce of evidence from the archaeological record at all of any temples, civilizations, legends, traditions, or ancient texts that even mention any of these other ages, just to invent this age of Leo bullshit. So yeah. Here's another one. I am not a fan of Andrew Collins. Again, total anachronisms. You guys know that in Archaix we have corrected the lunar count and the day count systems, and to make sense of all the calendars of the ancient world. These men should be ashamed of themselves for not doing the calendrical research, at least looking at the scholarly material to find out how ancient cultures counted time, instead of making up all this shit about the Ice Age. It's dumb. And you already know, fingerprints of the grift. This is the grifter's Bible. This is the absolute grifter's Bible. And anytime Mr. Hancock wants to come defend the grifter's Bible on Archaix, I will stop everything I'm doing to let him do that. You got to beware. You must beware. If you're reading research material concerning the ancient world, and they never mention Harold T. Wilkins, they never mention Emmanuel Velikovsky, they never mention Lewis Spence, they never mention Hans Bellamy. Those are all red flags. If they never mention Professor L.A. Waddell's research, and especially this guy here, if they never mention, I didn't get them all. I got more than this. Thor Heyerdahl. If they never mention Thor Heyerdahl, and they never do. Here's Thor Heyerdahl, because this dude was a Sumerologist too. Here's Aku Aku on Easter Island. Yeah, Easter Island has all the same features of Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe's 8,000 years old. Easter Island's only 12 centuries old. Crazy. They're all hypocrites. Thor Heyerdahl. And this is why Thor Heyerdahl's so hated. He shows that the Algonquin tribes, the Cherokee, the Tsauge, all these North American branches, they have the exact totems, the exact clothes, the exact artistic styles, utensils. They had the exact traditions, history, ceremonies as the Pacific Islanders did. And they're not supposed to, because the world that you've been taught is not the world that Thor Heyerdahl found when he went to all these different islands. Yeah, this book is amazing. It's huge. Anyone not mentioning the research of Thor Heyerdahl, it's a red flag. Also, since we're talking about that, this man's not given enough credit for his material. This is Frank Joseph. Talking about the Sea People's Federation, Atlantis, and all that. Frank Joseph is a master. He's a master historian. We have a few disagreements here and there, but other than that, I'm on board with almost everything Frank Joseph writes. But Frank Joseph is another one. And you don't see him quoted by these other guys at all. He's like ignored. Yeah. All these guys writing all these books and all that, but they don't cite their source. They don't cite any of these men. Yeah, it's total red flag. Total red flag, guys. So that's next on the list, I believe, is Jordan Crowder. He's been on my channel as well, and he's more than welcome to come back. Jordan Crowder is a pretty popular guy. I believe he's on X more than he is on YouTube. But yeah, Jordan Crowder, he's more than welcome to come back. Sean Lindsay just mentioned Ammon Hillman. I will be extending an invitation to Mr. Hillman if he wants to come, chop it up and talk about, the first 2 or 3 centuries of the Christian religion. His take is a little bit different than mine, just like, what's this guy? Real great guy. Just like Ralph Ellis. Ralph Ellis's take is a little bit here. Ralph Ellis was on Archaix. His take is a little bit different than mine. He's got all this documentation showing that there was a Jesus king of Edessa. And all that's great. All that's great because it just further shows that what I'm telling you is that the original Jesus was 100% literary. And we're talking about the Jesus of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John being totally literary. Now, if there was a Jesus king of Edessa, all that does is empower my case. It doesn't weaken it, because all my only position at all ever in all my research in Dark Scriptures playlist is that the Jesus of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is a fiction. It never happened. Whether there was a Jesus in the historical record, that's not my business. That's not my business. All I've ever put out is the Jesus of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John didn't exist. It is a church invention. All right, let's see. Invite Cug. Cug, you want to come on the channel, man? Listen, you don't have to have a big following and all that stuff. You guys know just this year I've had 2 or 3 people on who don't even have YouTube channels. Just wanted to talk. Yeah. Jonathan Sherman. Whitney Webb is welcome to come on the channel, but what will we talk about? That conversation will dissolve into, I'm not going to be able to be quiet about who's running the show and all the people who want to talk about mainstream puppets and you know what? Those of you who are on X following me, you know what's on my mind. You already know. All these people out here in the field talking about this politician, talking about this government agency, talking about the WEF, talking about intelligence agencies, talking about all this crap different countries doing whatever. Man, it's only one people that are responsible for everything. So I'm just done. I'm done hearing about anything unless they're willing to talk about that. Yeah. One people responsible across the board for everything. So yeah, I just leave it alone because that's where I'm at now. That's where I'm at. Hell, I can't even research folklore. Now when I see leprechauns, I see these people, man, you know, I see it clearly now. Kobolds, trolls, goblins, all the traditions and legends attached to them, man. Leprechauns, little short hat wearing bearded guys with big noses, man, that are holding on to your gold. I said, now, man, you know what? Everything I researched in folklore and European folklore and history, and I was telling us about these people and masking it in comedy. Yeah, man. No, man. I don't know if having Whitney Webb on my channel is gonna be good because that's gonna get me triggered talking about all kinds of stuff, and I'm just gonna leave that alone. Now I could do a space. I could do a space on X and go off. That's for sure. So tell me about in the chat section. I want 3 or 4 people to give me a one-liner about Mark Passio. I know nothing about him. I just know his name. His name has been dropped in my comment sections repeatedly, many times. So who is he? What is he about? Mark Passio. Dr. Justin Sledge with Esoterica. I'll add him to the list. I'm waiting on a couple people. I'm waiting on a few comments, man, to enlighten me, man. Who's Mark Passio to you? What is, I'm trying to figure out what is his research value? Well, what does he do? What's his message? Okay, he's a reformed occultist. Somebody said angry. Never heard of him. Former satanic priest. Well, I don't believe in the Christian model. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. I didn't know. I don't believe in the Christian model, so I sure as hell don't believe in the satanic one. That doesn't mean he can't bring value to the field, because the people he was dealing with sure as hell believed it. So Dr. Justin Sledge, I'm gonna add him real quick because I don't know. I've never heard that name. All right. Let's see. Dr. Justin Sledge. All right. Natural Law. First time hearing, never heard of him. Damn. So Mark Passio is evidently very passionate. For some of you to be saying he's angry, some of you saying he's yelling or loud, he must be very passionate about what he's talking about. And that's not a deal killer. That's not a deal killer. Never heard of Black Earth Productions. What is that? It got me curious. I'm going to write it down. Never heard of that one. Tell you one that I am interested in. So Passio is passionate. That's luminal mind. So Passio, so we should extend it. X. Oh, he's XWEF. Well, that's interesting. So Mark Passio's an Anunnaki guy. That's not a deal killer. I'm just not trying to hear that Anunnaki ruled for hundreds of thousands of years. We already know it's a miscommunication on Barossa's part, and it's been rectified over and over and over. You guys know I have overwhelmed you with data showing you from the historical record that these were not years, they were days. It was a day count system. And even scholars 2,000 years ago knew that Barossa's 432,000 shars was only 432,000 days. It was 1,200 years. So I'm going to leave Mark Passio on the list. I mean, I haven't, no one, so what if he's angry? I don't care if he's angry. Hell, I'm pissed. Oh, he'll probably accuse me of following Satan. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, you know what? I'll leave him off the list then. Mark Passio, I'm going to pass on you, man. Gonna pass. You got too many people, man, that are dissuading me from that. Scott Patton, all movement is in the sky. Doesn't matter if Velikovsky records all the sky phenomena. It has nothing to do. It would never change the shape of the earth at all. At all. Whether the earth is flat or whether the earth is a globe, it doesn't change the fact that in the historical record, we have accurately documented with precision at least 4 worldwide destructions and many epicycles of regional destructions, as many as 40 different regional destructions around the world. Doesn't matter if the world's flat. Doesn't matter if the world's a globe. It still doesn't change the historical record. Okay. So Mark Passio is a great occult researcher, but he's gotten real militant and angry lately. All right. I don't know who Dan Goller is. I've never heard that one. I'm going to leave Mr. Passio on the list. I'll cogitate on that one for a while. I don't know who Mark Devlin is. That's a new name to me. Then again, I've heard so many names. I don't know who Mark Devlin is, but Cliff High's on my list. Yeah, I did a video one time. I was triggered by Cliff High talking to somebody about ancient aliens, and almost every single historical date was completely out of context, all anachronisms. And, I just like, you know what, now. But as far as his other material, Cliff High's got a lot of awesome stuff. Cliff High is a voice in the field. Cliff High is one of the good guys. I mean, I can't give a better accolade than that, because I would put Cliff High as one of the good guys, like Gene Nolan. Gene Nolan's one of the good guys. Jeff Mara, he's one of the good guys. Barry and Mike of Alphabetic, they're good guys. Martin Leakey, one of the good guys. Campbell and Kelly, they're among the good guys. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, Cliff High belongs in that. Yeah, Jordan Crowder, Michelle Gibson, Michael Lassarion, Jesse Howe. These are all part of the good guys. The Greek, even Howdy Mikowski, Greg Braden. I don't have any problem with them being categorized as among the good guys, just because we disagree on some particulars. That's neither here nor there to me. I really don't care about what we disagree on. I still haven't heard anybody say anything about Mark Devlin. I'm looking real quick. Mark Devlin. Chuck Swindoll is on my list. Somebody just mentioned Oregon Gypsy, mentioned Chuck Swindoll Jr. He's on my list. I will be extending him. I've actually exchanged comments with him on Twitter before. I should have already invited him to the channel. Let's see. Mark Devlin is British and talks about corrupt music industry. Oh, yeah, man, that would be something to get into. I'm leaving Mr. Devlin on the list. He's right next to Cliff High. Donald Hoffman. Isn't Donald Hoffman a simulationist? Is he a theoretical physicist? Is this the same Donald Hoffman I'm thinking of as a theoretical physicist? Oh, I almost got triggered. Somebody, I'll leave that alone. Let's see. All right. Latent Lexicon uses old books to show lost recipes for artificial stone. I have a few of those. Yeah. Synthetic stone is as old as mankind. Satanic music industry. Wow. Okay. We're going to leave Devlin on there. We've had Roger of Mud Fossil on here, Lacey. He's welcome back too. I just think that most of the things he's uncovered with the organics mixed into the topsoil is the fact that the destruction was just so perfect when the vapor canopy world ended. Remember in 1902, it rained blood. They tested it and it was blood. So there's going to be organics falling from the skies. We've documented this in Archaix. So much organic material has fallen and carbonaceous material has fallen from the sky that it's going to be all over the world. No matter where you look, it's going to be there. Ashologos. I've heard that one a lot. Ashologos has a subverted history series, has a Phoenix Project community. Didn't know they had a Phoenix Project community. What does that mean? Sites hired all, mostly on Substack now. Even lets people use his data free use. Okay, well, he sounds a lot like me then. Ashologos. Let's add that. I don't have that one on the list. Let's add Ashologos and see if they want to come on the channel, talk about what they're doing. So okay, we already got 7 Bomar. Put him at the top of that list. So Ashologos. Let's do that. Okay. Elena Freeland, bioengineer transhumanism. Elena Freeland, bioengineer transhumanism. I've never heard that name. What's going on with Funky Prepper? I haven't heard from him in a while. Is he doing all right? I was doing good. Funky Prepper went to jail. Then he gets out right at the period that I was going through. Y'all know my separation with Dawn. Then a lot of things going on in my professional life, man. I went through a little dark period for a while. I think that was right around the time Funky Prepper got out. Somebody mentioned Funky Prepper. He's one of the good guys, man. Let's see. Need to get Mark Leakey. I need to go on Mark Leakey's channel. I think we made a deal. He came on my channel, and we just lost communication. I know I sent him an email. I didn't get a response. But then again, he's always had some really weird emails. Like I'll email him on one, he'll email me back on something else. But I need to go on Mark Leakey's channel. Then have him as a guest back on mine. Paul Cook's already on the list. Yeah, I just haven't mentioned him, but he's on my list. Easy, Tigers. We need to catch up with Paul Cook and see where he's been, what's he been digging around, running from security guards, peeing on 4,000-year-old megalithic walls. We need to find out what Paul Cook's up to. We haven't had a progress report in a while since he was in Malta. Oh, Jonathan Weston, you are not talking about Jonathan Weston. I'm putting you on blast. What about the German guy who wrote about the Phoenix phenomenon and says his research was parallel with yours, Jason? I heard that there was an accusation of plagiarism, but he denied. Yeah, he's a plagiarist. You talking about this guy? You talking about this guy? Not only is he's a plagiarist, but he's a member of an intelligence agency. And if you open up a bunch of this was stolen straight out of all my research and all my material. I highlighted whole sections that were word for word stolen out of my books and off my video transcripts. Yeah, this is Christian Colehurt. Yeah, he's a plagiarist. Any court of law went through the data that I documented in this book, they would see 100% this man's a thief. I'm not pursuing it because I really don't care. But their intent to hijack the Phoenix narrative is all through the book. And they published this picture. Graham Hancock's in here. All these different people I disagree with are all in this picture. But hidden in those faces, almost impossible to see, is my face. They put it in there real clever. That's how you know. This right here in the court of law, I would win the case. They hid my face real clever. Right there. Right there, shaded into the pyramid edge. Yeah, this is it. This was put out by an intelligence agency. You can see my face real clear, but you got to hunt for it. You see, I'm wearing glasses, bald-headed. I don't know why my camera's so blurry. There it is. It's just blurring out. But anyway, yeah, Kristen Colhert, yeah, no doubt. If he's got a problem with it, all he's got to do is sue me. I'll win that all day long. I went through this whole thing highlighting all the things that were taken out of my research word for word. Not one mention of the 138-year cycle. None of the actual Phoenix cataclysms that I've documented. Yeah, this is an attempt by an intelligence agency to hijack the narrative. This book, hardback, first edition like this, is way too expensive to make a profit off of. Yeah, it was just put out there. He's not the only one. There's another guy, Volhert. Damn, I can't remember the dude's name. He's also hijacking all the Phoenix material and rewriting it. These guys publish in other languages as well, so I really can't control it. But my publisher in San Diego has a list. We're keeping tabs because there's going to come a point in time when I'm going to have a slush fund set aside where I can go ahead and just give it to a law firm. We go chase these guys down. Right now, I'm not quite there yet. I'm still building my empire. But yeah, there's a lot of this going on. There's a lot of grifting going on. There's a lot of content creators that are not true researchers, and all they do is go visit other countries and take pictures and ask questions. But a lot of the times, their questions or their comments in their posts are very indicative that they're listening to certain individuals, but they'll never cite them, they'll never mention them. So when they do their posts to their own communities, it looks like these are this is their discoveries, their observations, when they're not. I'm not going to name one. I just had an exchange with one recently on Twitter, and I've already got somebody behind his paywall, and we're going through all his stuff, because if the man is doing what I think he's doing, I'm going full metal jacket on YouTube showing it, because he kind of really ticked me off the way he dismissed me when I know he's lying. So anyway, my life is one big long adventure. It never ends. Yeah, but Jonathan Weston, he's absolutely. That dude's a thief. 100%. Martin Vreeland, that's the other guy. Got a whole website. He also hijacks a lot of people's stuff and repackages it and makes it look like it's his stuff. A lot of the Phoenix Nemesis X information, Martin Vreeland, whatever his name is, he's another guy just like this Christian Colhert. Yeah, I stay on top of a lot of them. There's a lot of people out there that are freely lifting other people's research and material. They've got no research bibliographies of their own at all. This is another dead giveaway. This is another thing that in a court of law that would be a thing, because attorneys would want you would file what's called disclosure. In a disclosure proceeding, I am able to put forth a bibliography of over 3,000 nonfiction reference books, titles, and the exact page numbers where the data comes from. These guys can't do that. So if I really wanted to sue them, I would always win. It'd be easy. So yeah. So this is like the third time I've seen Pierre Sabac. Pierre Sabac is going to be invited. I'm on page 123 or 124 of hold on. Oh, here's Murder of Reality. I haven't started this one yet. This is Pierre Sabac. He is going to be invited to the channel, no doubt. This one is 176. This one is holographic culture. This is what's getting him invited to the channel. Pierre Sabac, holographic culture. Absolutely, no doubt. Yeah, he's definitely going to be invited to the channel. Did somebody else mention Big Leo? So this isn't written by him. It's written by a different guy, but it's about him and about the Naked Bible. So I don't know if I'm going to invite him yet. I don't know. He kind of looks, intimidating. So I have no idea. Kind of looks intimidating, like he doesn't like what my conclusions are. Looks like he might go full Jesuit on me. Let's see. Polly is an acquaintance of mine. Somebody mentioned Polly. Polly has listened to the channel, and she and I have exchanged comments several times on Twitter. The amazing Polly, is that who you're talking about? Yeah, I've got no issues with Polly. She's used to getting there on social media and getting her hands dirty. I've never heard of Kuwaiti researcher Aisha Rashid. She kicks ass. I've never heard of her. Yeah, but I left Mark Devlin on the, absolutely. Mark Devlin, I left him on my list. Paul Wallace, it's another one right here. Man, you guys are hitting all the books. You guys are hitting all of them. The Eden Conspiracy. Yeah, I would like to invite Paul Wallace on the deal. I'm not into ancient aliens. You guys know that, but it doesn't mean he doesn't bring value to the, especially in an exegetical analysis of the actual biblical material. Paul Wallace seems to be very educated on that. This is a pretty compelling book. Do I believe in that the Bible has evidence of ETs and aliens? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But does it have evidence that something sinister is going on? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Paul Wallace is probably going to be invited to the channel. No doubt. Intriguing guy. Intriguing guy. I kind of reserved my judgment until I went through the book. But Paul Wallace is already on my list. I don't even have to type that in. Let's see. Got more people here. Oh, Tom Montauk. This can't be associated to the Montauk Project, is it? Tom Montauk? Is that the Montauk Project? With him, I've got Jay Wiedner. Because he's like the founder of Reality Check. He founded Gaia. But then Bill F., you need to find the door, man. You knew Carrie Cassidy is off the table when you put those 2 question marks by her name. Get out of here, man. Get out of here with that BS. Patriot pacification expert, galactic fed. Yeah, man, I ain't trying to hear that. Pleiadian star system soldiers are going to be coming with the Galactic Federation. They're just waiting on. She's one of them that was pushing all the underground dumb, saving the children's Galactic Federation coming. Man, don't mention Carrie Cassidy on my channel. Hell's wrong with you? I have 2 personal friends that are friends. I don't know if they're friends, but they worked for Roseanne Barr many, many times in California and now in Texas. They are videographers, and I met them a while back, and they had let me know that Roseanne Barr knew about Archaix. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but if Roseanne Barr wants to come on the channel and kick it up and chop it up, yeah, we can do that. So yeah, so somebody said Paul Wallace would be amazing. Yeah, he's a pretty interesting guy. All right. I don't know who Logos Media, Jan Irvin of Logos Media, and Black Sheep Researcher. I don't know who these people are. I've never heard of them. Never heard of them. I know Greg Baden is connected to Gaia. But that's not stuff we'd be talking about. We're talking about spiritual stuff, talking about philosophical stuff, talking about the human condition with Greg Braden. Morgue, maybe. Are you talking about Morgue Official? Yeah, he's a curious guy. Morgue Official's pretty cool, man. I don't have him on the list, but man, I might see if he wants to come on the channel. I'm just looking at you guys. Owen Benjamin is more than welcome to come on the channel. He and I have had a tumultuous little history. You know what I mean? And I get it because I got a lot of haters out there who don't even know the particulars of my case. They have no idea how I got railroaded at 17 years old. They have no idea what really happened that night. And I've got people that have, or they have purchased my court records from Harris County in Texas, and they did an about face. I said, "Damn, man, this is crazy." So yeah, man, I was 17 years old. I effed up, but I'm not the one that did that to that girl, and the court papers show that. And that idiot I was with, he turned state's evidence real quick. They still gave him 45 years, but still, yeah, I don't even know where he is today. I don't even want to know where he is today. Sorry, bastard. Let's see. Yeah, Kerry Cassidy. But yeah, Owen Benjamin, shoot, man. Dude's like a comedian in Hollywood for a long time. The only problem I don't have anything personal against Owen Benjamin. He's more than welcome to come on the channel. We'd probably get along, chop it up, do all kinds of things. Hell, but my only issue with it is Owen Benjamin is in a league with Santos Bonacci. He's also in a league with Max Egan. You guys know I've hosted Max Egan on my channel, and YouTube took the video down instantly. I've hosted Max Egan 2 times here in Texas, where he lived with me for a while. I have hosted Max Egan on Archaix TV because I can do that behind a paywall. But when Max Egan's name comes up in a YouTube video, man, YouTube took that video down, gave me a strike so fast. It's polarizing. Well, Owen Benjamin would be the same. If Owen Benjamin wants to come on to YouTube and talk to me we can talk about anything. I don't care. But the man is known for telling the truth, telling things as they are, and they hate him for it. So, yeah, Santos Bonacci, that man did not hold anything back. He told the truth in about 20 rant videos and completely got 2 channels taken right offline. YouTube axed Syncretism Society channel, and they axed Mr. Astrotheology behind his rant videos. He didn't say anything wrong. That man told the absolute truth. So we have Max Egan, Santos Bonacci, and we got Owen Benjamin. Having them on the channel may create a problem. It may create a problem. Not with me. I'd get along with all 3 of them just fine. It would create a problem with the YouTube algorithm. Yeah. That's my only concern. It's my only concern. All right, let's see. Chat's going off today, isn't it? Can you imagine having all 3 of them in a round table at the same time on YouTube? Shit, my channel would be gone the next morning. Gone the next morning. So Jay Weidner, I believe it's Widener. He's on the list. He's on the list. I am interested in talking to somebody who founded Gaia. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. Dr. Ben Dover. You got to be kidding me. I just fell for that. Dr. Ben Dover. That is not a real name. You got me. Whoever put that in there, and I copy and pasted that from the comment section, you got me, man. Very few people get me, but you got me. Dr. Ben Dover. Nice. Nice. I'm going to go ahead and take that one from the list. That's not a real person. There's no way. Taking that one from the list. I was copy and pasting frantically last night fast, trying to get ready for this presentation. I didn't enunciate any of these names out loud. You got me. Dr. Ben Dover. Wow. That may be the first time in 992 videos on YouTube. That's where I'm at now. 992 videos on YouTube that somebody got me. Got me. So I'm trying to stretch it out right now. I may delete 1 or 2 older videos if I have to, but I'm really trying to hard to make September 16th my 1000th video. That's my Star Wars decode. You'll find out on September 16th why it had to be that date. But my full Star Wars trilogy decode, I want it to be my 1000th video. And the only way for me to really do that, because of the way the videos fall, I've got 8 more videos to that, which is 16 days. So today is the 20th. There's no way. I'm going to have to remove some older videos in order to make that happen for deal. And I do have older videos that I've already montaged. So yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. But I'm gonna make that Star Wars video my 1000th video. Are you saying Dr. Ben is real? Epinephrine? Dr. Ben cures optical disease? You're saying he's real and that I'm tripping? His name is Dr. Bend Over. No way, man. No way. Mr. Bend Down and Phil McCracken. You people suck. I swear. No way. No way, man, is this dude's name. This is really his name. Okay, Epi said no. She said, no. Okay, cool. I was going to say, man, it can't be real, man. Somebody got me. I don't know which one of you got me, but one of y'all got me. Dr. Bend Over. You got me to say that out loud on YouTube. More kudos to you. Okay, so Tom Montauk. I still haven't got an answer on that. Tell me real quick who Tom Montauk. Eddie Bravo. I was just watching his 10th Planet Wrestling matches. I even left a comment in the live chat. Not one person recognized me and Eddie Bravo's whole deal. I waited there for an hour for anybody to respond and say, hey, Archaix, what's up? Not one. I was so dejected. I just left. If anybody would have responded, I was gonna openly invite Eddie Bravo right there in his own live chat to come on to Archaix, talk to me about the good old days. So I'm gonna add him to the list right now. Eddie Bravo. I'd like to have him on the channel. Just chop it up. Yeah, I was on his channel just recently. So somebody mentioned Robert Grant. So Campbell and Kelly, that's automatic. They're among the good guys. It's Autodidactic and Kelly. I got them on the list too. But what is this? I don't know. So this is John Levy and David Edward right here. It's not the only one I have. I've got more by them. This is David Edward. Is this the David Edward Grant guy? Or is it just David Edward? Is this David Edward Grant or is it just David Edward? I'm a little confused. I've got this book in my deal, and I've got this one. My issue with David Edward. I'm not saying David Edward Grant because I'm not convinced of the same person. But David Edward, this guy who works with John Levy, yeah, I got issues. I don't have issues personally with them. I have issues over the fact that this entire Atlantis book is completely wrong. Every single element about the timing of Atlantis. And his chief authority in here is Jimmy Corsetti and the Reichak structure deal. And this is no good. Absolutely no good. None of this theory, every bit of it, with just a little common sense and good historical citations and just reading Plato's narrative completely dismantles this whole thing. So I don't know what he's really about, David Edward. He may have a lot of other good stuff, but when it comes to Atlantis, I'm willing to debate it. None of this is true. None of this is true. Now, John Levy is a force to be reckoned with. He's a man that's very well known. He kind of from what I understand, he kind of started after Martin Leakey, and Martin Leakey lost a really large channel and has never really recovered from that. John Levy plowed forward and has pretty much taken the field. John Levy's pretty big, but I don't know. I haven't read this book yet. It looks pretty interesting. All the pictures of the 1800s and all that, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to defer to their bibliography and check it out, because one thing that is interesting about this book, unlike like Epic of Humanity, absolute garbage. This is Facebook educated drivel by Billy Carson. It is pathetic. You can tell what's been written by him because it's very poorly written. You can tell when ChatGPT is used to just put out a bunch of general mainstream information. It's a book of filler. There's nothing in it. It sucks. It's he did a little bit better job using AI, because Billy Carson's not a writer. Anybody who's ever read any of his material knows he's not a writer. Matt LaCroix wrote most of that book. So here's fractal holographic universes. He's He's just coming up with topics and just harvesting data from all different places. He has no research bibliography in here or in the other book. Billy Carson's a freestyle expert. What he does is he watches YouTube presentations or BitChute presentations, and he just puts his own spin on things, puts it out there, and acts like he's an authority, and a bunch of dumbasses fall for it. But neither one of them are near as bad as Jay Dreamer's book, the most awful book in history. You can't get past the fact that it's written for a fourth grader, and it's about the dumbest theory in the world, because everyone knows who's done their homework. The map that was put out in the 1500s that shows the North Pole being 4 islands with 4 rivers going was a concept piece. Yeah, every airline's pilot that flies over the North Pole will tell you none of that shit's there. There ain't no 4 islands there with Mount Meru, the largest mountain in the world, in the center of the North Pole, and 4 rivers like Eden going off the 4th pole. That was a concept piece. But that's Jay Dreamer's chief evidence in the whole plasma apocalypse deal, and the plasma apocalypse blows out of this volcano, and it's just so comical. It's what's worse is when you read about it. I thought the videos were bad, but when you read about it, it's pathetic. So we have, I don't know who this guy is, but this is the type of stuff we have in the field now. The reason I'm showing you these books is because this doesn't qualify. This is actually very well written, and it has a extensive bibliography. John Levy or David Edward, or both of them, didn't want to put out something poorly researched. Yeah, I'm showing you these books that are terrible. I'm showing you now a book that is very well researched, so I can't be critical until I've read it. I can't. You guys know I've done 2 very, very penetrating videos on the 1800s, showing the state of our technology and what our accomplishments truly were, showing before and after pictures of these buildings that a lot of these Tartaria guys are saying couldn't have possibly been built that fast, and that they're actually old world and we founded them and all that. And I showed before and after pictures of those same areas. I am very critical of the Tartaria narrative. However, I can't say it's badly researched. It does have a very nice you guys know bibliographies are my thing, and this bibliography is several pages. This is unusual for a book this size. This bibliography goes on page after page after page after page, and you guys know that's one of the things, and it's parts of my litmus test if I'm going to ascertain the value of someone's research. So yeah, this is something I'm going to get into. So I'm going to reserve judgment on David Edward, because I just don't know. I just know that he wrote a book basically explaining Jimmy Corsetti's position on the Archaix structure and the dating of Atlantis is all wrong, because Jimmy Corsetti's wrong. But this truther community is laden with people that are just trying to make a buck from nothing. Like this guy here. I don't know who this guy is, don't care. But this is, the world is a mud fossil. Okay, you wanted to write a book that people can find value in and get it off Amazon, and here it is, here's your book and all that, and then when you flip through it, it's like a Jay Dreamer's book. Hardly any words per page, a bunch of pictures that are not relative to each other, all sitting on there, highly imaginative. There's no focus to the book whatsoever, no bibliography. It is just garbage. Garbage. The world is a mud fossil. It's just garbage. So, yeah, I was an author before I was a YouTuber. So I'm going to be very strict when it comes to research parameters. I mean, we all have the same rules we have to play by. And yeah, I'm really critical these days because it's so easy to use AI to generate books. All my books, except for one, were written when I was in prison. So I'm now seeing Amazon is packed full of AI generated content now. When one author can put out six or 7 books a year, that author is a fraud. That author is a fraud. He's using AI to generate chapters over and over and over. It's so easy. You can steal research from anybody now, run it through AI filters, repackage it as your own. And the only way you're ever going to be able to bust these guys is my method. Oh, that's cool. Share with me your research bibliography, because if you don't have one, you're a fraud. Yeah, you didn't just pull all this information from the field. It didn't just come out your head. You didn't become an authority all of a sudden on YouTube and on Twitter and got 200,000 subs, and every post you get gets 30,000 views, and all you do is put one little paragraph and ask one little question and show some stuff, and never ever cite a book, an author, a researcher, none of that stuff. No, you're a plant. If that's how you get your success, then it means 100% of your material has been harvested from others for which you don't mention. That makes you a thief. You guys know I'm real critical of all that. I didn't spend my life recording all my bibliographic citations in Chronicon just to have other people come lift my stuff and then not give me any recognition whatsoever, and then just turn around and claim never even heard of me. Yeah, I'm not trying to hear none of that at all. There was my rant for the day. So we have Michael Tellinger. This is a pretty good book too. Nice, well put together. Do I believe that any of these archaeological structures found across Africa have anything to do with the Anunnaki? Absolutely no, I do not. Absolutely not. You don't make your case. Michael Tellinger did not at all make his case. Great Zimbabwe, all these places in Africa, none of these were built by the Anunnaki. Anunnaki didn't live for hundreds of thousands of years. It didn't. There's nothing special about these places. Do you see this right here? This is the residuum left behind like sheep pens. These weren't just little mounds. These were all containers. All this area, these were walls made out of just stacked blocks. Not even blocks, natural rock that was found around. And they make these little pens and they put their sheep in there at night. And then the sheep herders go to sleep. I mean, these things are found all over the world. They're not just in Africa. And the reason why they're flat like that and you don't see them as full walls anymore is because it is a common denominator among all cultures that new cultures, when they move into an old area, always harvest the most easily the procurable stone. And if the new culture moved in and didn't have sheep to pen, what do you think they're going to do? Just let all that stone there? No, they're going to take all that stone and build their houses. They're going to build their quays. They're going to build their wharfs. They're going to build whatever they need to build, because the previous culture made stone very, very accessible. This is the common denominator all over the world. Why we find things the way they are, because later peoples have come and have procured the rock that was so freely available, and they took it somewhere else. A lot of times it becomes ballast in ships. A lot of times it becomes the ballast underneath a new road that's being built, because you can't build roads through deserts and desert terrains unless you put ballast in the ground first. You guys remember, for 3.5 years, Paradise Rock Gardens was my thing. You cannot build a flagstone walkway without excavating 6 inches deep and laying 3 inches of gravel. You can't do it. It's just going to sink. That 3 inches of gravel absorbs shock, it absorbs moisture, and it maintains structural integrity. So when you lay that paver sand over there and you set those flagstones with those pavers in place, they'll stay there for 300 years, unless there's an earthquake. And there's no subsidence on nothing. That gravel is key. And gravel is created from broken rock. Romans knew this. This is why all Roman roads, they excavated down and filled it with gravel and then built on top of it. Made the Roman roads last forever. So, yeah, this is not, he didn't make his case. First of all, you already know the Anunnaki is a day count system. He probably knows my research, and he's just, this is very intriguing, but it's a story. Unless you put it into its chronological perspective, it's not going to make sense. None of this happened 200,000 years ago. These guys have got to get away from that BS. None of these histories in the Sumerian records happened 200,000 years ago. It's just crazy. Yeah, 216,000 is the most common number that's found uniform in the Mayan text, in the Vedic text, in the Babylonian, Sumerian, and Akkadian text, and it is exactly 600 years. It's an Anunnaki Nur. 600 years. 2 Nur is 432,000 turnings of the stars, days. If Michael Tellinger was to revamp his theory to correct it with the accurate timekeeping system showing that all this happened in the 35th century BC to the 23rd century BC, then every bit it would make sense. And all his African mining and all his Anunnaki material would absolutely be correct. But yeah, Atlantis found, David Edward, I'm not buying it. He does admit in here, this really isn't his research. He does admit that. So this is another book by David Edward where he's pushing the Jimmy Corsetti version of the Archaix structure. And so far, the entire theory rests on Jimmy Corsetti. So it's very embarrassing that Jimmy Corsetti has refused to debate any of these issues, because the more we find about the whole Atlantis narrative, as I show on X, I'm always posting on X more and more details about how Plato's narrative completely disproves the Archaix structure deal. A geologist, a scientist all over the world that have visited the site, they all disagree. It's a natural formation, always has been. It's not even the right location. But the Archaix structure for Jimmy Corsetti absolutely relies on Graham Hancock's Younger Dryas impact theory, trying to shove Archaix into a period of time for which it does not belong. So this is before canals, before cities, before iron was introduced into the Mediterranean, before the Sea Peoples Federation, the Atlanteans invaded the area. And especially the most ridiculous point concerning the modern myth of Atlantis is the fact that Jimmy Corsetti, Graham Hancock, Randall Carlson, and a whole host of other people are still trying to tell you that Atlantis was during the Ice Age period, when the whole story about Atlantis by Plato was about the war against Athens, Greece, which didn't even come into existence till the 13th century BC. The whole thing has become comical. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Brian Forrester is more than welcome to come on my channel and talk about all these amazing discoveries, the difference between technolithic and Heleolithic architecture, high tolerances, laser precision boring, everything. Him and Christopher Dunn have a lot in common. This man has traveled throughout. You've seen a bunch of these photos in Archaix. Amazing megaliths, amazing stuff that's in here, showing the science, just how advanced we were in ancient times. So it's looking at the pictures of Brian Forrester is where I first started telling you guys about a year ago that the reason all of these anomalies in the rock are so mysterious is because these researchers don't understand. You're looking at the photo negative of what was removed. You're looking at an upside down staircase, but nobody can find utility in an upside down staircase. Therefore, what you're looking at is what was left behind, which means the technology that was used in order to make that upside down staircase was some type of very sophisticated fracture quarrying of living rock, separating it from its parent rock. And when it's separated, what you see left behind is the mold. That's what's left behind. You still haven't found the piece that was made and removed. We don't know. There's thousands of examples all throughout the Andes Mountains, and he's documented a bunch of them. They don't make sense. When you look at them and say, what the hell is this? It looks like a computer template. This looks like a huge double square with cylinders. And what is this? Because you're not seeing what they removed. What they removed was the important pieces that were sent somewhere else. That's what was left in the rock after they removed the shapes that they needed. So, yes, Brian Forrester is definitely invited to the channel. There is no doubt at all. Now, I'm interested in this boots on the ground research. I am not interested in any ideas that he may have that the Anunnaki were tens of thousands of years ago and all. I'm not trying to hear Atlantis, all that. None of that. None of that. So moving right along. What do y'all think about Static in the Attic? I got the impression a while back he's not too impressed with me. But that's never going to stop me from sending an invitation if my community thinks that Static in the Attic can provide value to the conversation. So I have watched some of Static's presentations, and he makes really good sense about something. We disagree on some things, but it's negligible. The mic is picking up the typing. I got a really good mic. Yeah, Praveen Mohan's another one that parrots the Zechariah Sitchin BS or the Anunnaki being hundreds of thousands of years old. I'm not trying to hear none of that. So what do y'all think about Static? I'm not seeing any comments, man, about Static. He's been around. He's been around for a while. Him and Crow 777. I'm looking. Hermit Tramp says yes. Jeffrey Bailey says yes. Well, you can tell him we were talking about him. Looks like we don't have any naysayers. So, yeah, man, I might go back to his page and go see what he's been doing lately. Yeah, okay. Static's got a. Somebody said he's one of the good guys. Only one person. All right, I got Static on the attic on the list. So what is Woodward TV? Somebody said Jay from Woodward TV. Would somebody like to educate me on that? Is that a YouTube channel? I've done a video with Greg Carlwood of the Higher Side Chats. It was years ago. I like that guy. He interviews people. I don't think he does. I don't think he goes on other people's channels. But you know what? We'll see. We'll see. Let's go at him. Go ahead and add him real quick. It's all good. So Jay of the Woodward channel. We got anybody talking about him? Nope. Woodward TV. Yes, it's a YouTube channel. Okay, it is a YouTube channel. Jeffrey Bailey talking about him. Quantum of Conscious, he's one of the good guys too. Matt's one of the good guys. No doubt. But he's like Ken Wheeler. After Syncretism Society kind of went their way, both Matt of Quantum of Conscience and Ken Wheeler kind of just quit doing any podcasts, and they both were on podcasts with Santos and Logan, but they kind of went their own way. So I mean, he's more than welcome on my channel, but I'm not thinking he's going to respond to it. I'll sure send it out there though. I'm gonna write him down right now, Matt. Brooks Agnew, Inner Earth Civilization. Never heard of him. All right. Okay, so that's good. We got them on there. So what about who is Gary Humphreys from Alternative Interactions? I'm not familiar with him. This is one of you guys dropped that in there. Gary Wayne's been on my channel. He's welcome back. He's got all kinds of topics he can talk about too. The only thing he and I disagree with is on the origin of the Nephilim. Yeah, I don't subscribe to angels having sex with human women to create giants. That was there's no evidence of that story anywhere in the world until the 4th century BC, invented by Jews. No other culture even comes close to anything like that. The difference between titans and giants and normal humans was ecological factors, volcanism, cataclysms. We already know it's vapor canopy. But yeah, Gary Wayne's more than welcome to come back. He's got all the different races of giants mentioned in the Bible down pat. He's got that stuff down pat. It's Gary Wayne. Let's see. Okay, Tom Campbell. Is he still around? My Big Toe, Tom Campbell. Tom Campbell's one of the good guys. He's certainly welcome on my channel. I've never thought to invite him though. Oh, I remember why. When I first started doing podcasts, I had a negative experience with that guy who always pushes Tom Campbell. I'm gonna remember his name. Blonde hair, blue-eyed guy, wears the cap. I did 2 videos with him. And instead of being interested in the Archaix model of our experience, he just was really heavily pushing Tom Campbell. And I felt like it was bait and switch. He had me on his channel to talk about these things, and then turned around and did a follow-up video and was showing all the reasons Tom Campbell is right with my big toe and Archaix is wrong. And that kind of offended a lot of people in my community, and they were calling them out on it. So it kind of ended up being some shit. I remember that. That was a few years ago. Open your reality or something. That's his, the dude. He always pushes Tom Campbell. But anyway, it offended a lot of my community. They were asking me, hey, man, you need to call this dude out, do something, man. This is bullshit. So I remember that now. I think that's what turned me off of Tom Campbell, but it shouldn't have, but it did. Let's see. Yeah, Tom Campbell. I've got Ammon Hillman on the list. He's already here. He's already on my list. I just haven't got to him yet. Land of Kim. Is that chemicals or is that Africa? Man, Charlie Freak's not coming on my channel, man. Stop that. Stop that. I don't know who Dan Winter is. I know the name. Other than that, I don't know anything about him. Is he an author? Obviously, he's some type of YouTuber. I don't know anything about him. You guys tell me in the comment. I'm going through the comments right now. You tell me. I do not know. Nephilim Death Squad. Man, I keep hearing that name. I think I was even reading some comments under a Nephilim Death Squad post on Twitter recently. Let me go and put Nephilim Death Squad here. Man, these guys aren't somebody going to come on my channel and blow it up, are they? Trigger the algorithm. Let's see. Nephilim Death Squad. I'll put them on there just for having a unique name. Like Paranormies. Yeah, Gary Wayne's one of the good guys. Roger Spur's one of the good guys. Ben Dover is a cellmate. Man, you guys suck. Armored Skeptic. Never heard of it. What's up with Armored? Well, what's the message of Armored Skeptic? Because anybody who calls himself skeptic, I'm already a skeptic. You guys know my position on skepticism. It is the easiest. It requires the least IQ points. It requires the least amount of knowledge. You don't have to have a research history at all. As a matter of fact, anybody who puts themselves on a pedestal on social media and their platform is all about being critical of other people, it is the easiest thing to do. An 8-year-old child can easily say, I don't believe that. I don't believe that shit. Hell no, I don't believe that. It is the easiest thing to do. Descartes was very clear when he said, Arthur Schopenhauer was very clear when he had published that true intelligence is the ability to measure the value of a theory for which you do not hold. Yeah, so I'm not really not interested in those who put themselves up as critics. They are ordinarily those with the least amount of experience in life and the least amount of, look at all my trolls. They're all critics. They have no other videos but troll videos. Not just against me, but about other people. They actually bring no value to the field whatsoever. Yeah, critical videos, they're just not. It's too easy. It's just so easy. You can criticize people all day long and put yourself on a pedestal, and you're going to make a lot of dumb, ignorant people who have no experience in life follow you and believe you, and that's the type of community that you will build. Always being critical. I can't pronounce that dude's name, Nelson. I know he's a good dude. He's hard to understand sometimes. Gaj Vlad. Why did he choose that name? I've always avoided him because of the name. It's like, you know what, man? If you're going to choose a name that no one in the world can pronounce, you must not want to talk to anybody. Yeah. Gaj Vlasti or whatever. He could have chose a much simpler name. That right there is a real turnoff. And I've reached out to him before, and he has cited me in 3 or 4 of his videos before, but I can't get past the name. I said, man, by the time I want to send him an email or something, it's like, man, I'm not going to be able to understand him. I don't know what this name means. It's it's crazy. He's got really good content. There's no doubt about it. Kathy O'Brien on mind control, huh? I don't know. I'm just not really into the I'm just not into the MK Ultra. We already know MK Ultra is a real thing. We already know what's going on. I don't need them trying to MK Ultra me because I'm talking about them on YouTube. Now, we already know that's one of their chess pieces. That's where the whole Manchurian Candidate comes from. That shit's real. You did not say, Greg Sweeney, find the door. You did not say Neil deGrasse Tyson. I cannot believe you said that, man. That dude's an actor. That dude is a uniformitarian shill. Jeff Harmon's been on the show. Let me add him to the list. He's been on the show before. He's one of the very first astrologers to be on my show. We already talked about Owen Benjamin. He's more than welcome as shit. He'll trigger that algorithm so fast. Rise Above calls him Godvag. Yeah, if he doesn't mind, I'll call him that because I can't pronounce the other shit. It's like, damn, man, I don't want to talk to somebody if I can't even pronounce what your name is. It makes me look dumb. But God, I can go with Godvag. I don't know who David is. Fifth House Soul? Who is David? Which David are you talking about? Oh, we got a troll named Joe talking about I've been ultra'd. Talking about I've been MK ultra'd. Moderators, look for that Joe account. Not gonna last long here, I promise you that. Let's see. Dan Winter and the aliens guy. Huh? Okay, so what about we got Greg, we got Matt of Quantum of Gary Wayne, Nephilim Death Squad. We're shortening this. We're getting down to this list. So, Jason Reza Jordani. This is a name I've been seeing recently. I may have saw it a year ago or so. I don't remember. Jason Reza Jordani. What's his message? What is he about? Is it YouTube? Is it a different platform? What is it? What is it? Yeah, and don't even mention any of the Patriot Pacification Program agents. Wano Savin. Yeah, we don't want to hear about Wano Savin and all of them. Tom Numbers. I'm not trying to hear none of that. All those guys talking about the U.S. military was blowing up all those underground dumps to save the children from the evil deep state Satanists. All that BS. I'm trying to hear none of that. All those people listening to Wano Savin are now so deep they can't turn around. They can't stop now. They've already been made to eat so much of the poison that if they get off the poison, they'll die. That's the way it is. Let's see. Mysterious Middle East, huh? I haven't heard that one. Okay, Armored Skeptic is a skeptic of mainstream history. Well, hell, he'll get along. He'll get along here just fine. He said somebody said that RZA is that? Oh, that must be Reza Jordani. Is that who you're talking about? Justin Holt, knowledgeable on many fronts. Riyadh Ali, you know X22 ain't never coming on this channel. Let's see. Okay. Rob, you said my lunch break. I'm not impressed. Not impressed. I got real turned off with his Stonehenge deal. It was almost as if, look, you're either an intelligence agent deliberately putting out some absolute BS information, or you're a terrible researcher. And I'm making that assessment based off his Stonehenge deal. I've got books right here in the Archaix library that are over 300 years old that show pictures. I've showed them on my channel of Stonehenge. It was already old and falling apart. It was known in the 1700s to have almost all toppled because of earthquakes. It goes Stonehenge is ancient, just like Silbury Hill. No one says Silbury Hill isn't 33rd century BC. No one says that Newgrange isn't 33, the 32nd to 33rd century BC. No one says Durrington Walls and all these other like Neolithic gigantic sites all go back to the 3rd millennium BC. But all of a sudden Stonehenge is fake. It's so dumb. There's so much evidence of Stonehenge going back millennia. What's his name? Sir Norman Lockyer, astronomer, studied it in 1900 and 1901, wrote a full book about it. And he even documented the many times that Stonehenge has collapsed and it was re-erected by locals after earthquakes. So, yeah, my lunch break put it out there that it was built like within the last 100, 150 years. It's all fake. I'm trying to hear that bullshit, man. I'm tired of all these guys that just show pictures. They have no research bibliographies, but they hold themselves as authorities for which matters they know nothing about at all. Yeah, my lunch break's not coming on my channel. I'm trying to hear it. Not going to happen. Let's see. Library of the Untold is one I've heard of recently. I don't know what they are. I don't really have a lot of free time to watch other YouTube channels. So you'll have to tell me what value is Library of the Untold bringing to the field? What do you guys like? Yeah, and are you sure it's not an AI channel? Because that's a deal killer. I'm going to put it on here for now. Library of the Untold. Dark Journalist is all right. I mean, he kind of goes hand in hand with G.G. Young. They're on the same thing. I'm not really interested in all the, Anton LaVey and the Golden Dawn Society mysticism and all. I'm just not. I'm really not interested. That's their focus. That's their focus. All the ancient aliens, UFO, paranormal, spirituality. That's G.G. Young. Listen, man, more power to them. And they seem to get along just fine. They work together every once in a while. It's not my forte. There's really nothing. There's really no crossover here. I'm a chronologist, and most of the material for which I publish is all over, all 400-500 years and before. So Dark Journalist and G.G. Young basically cover everything in the last 500 years. And except for when they talk about Atlantis, and you already know that triggers me because we all know Atlantis, there's no way it was 12,000 BC, 11,000 BC, 9,000 BC, none of that. So I don't know. I'll pass. It's just there's just not a lot of crossover. Let's see. So I put Library of the Untold on there. I'm gonna have to look all these people up. I'm gonna look them all up. I just don't know. Just don't know. Dark Journalist believes Atlantis is 200,000 years old. Yeah. I'd have to hear him say that. It's so unbelievable. I would have to hear him say that. Okay, so Maverick Reloaded. I haven't heard of that one. Return to my list here. So we covered Woodward TV. Gary Humphrey's Alternative Interactions. I left him on the list, although I haven't seen much in the chat. Also, I left Tom Campbell. What about Dan Wheeler and his magnetism? I don't know who Dan Wheeler is. I know who Ken Wheeler is. I don't know who Dan Wheeler is. Somebody mentioned Terrence Howard. Stellium 7, yeah, he's one of the good guys. He's been on the channel before. Yeah. I don't know if he's been doing anything recently. Robert Seffer, yeah, we already got Robert Seffer on the list. Let's see. We already got Roger. We already got Roger's fur. Gnostic Informant, yeah, he's got some good stuff. He knows his material pretty well. Gnostic Informant's good. He wasn't on the list, but we can put him on there. Ken Scott, Pantera Vita. Danny Goler, he's the one that did the test that showed the holographic lines coding using a laser. I remember that. I remember hearing about it. I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it. Isn't Terrence Howard the one that went on Joe Rogan and never cited the source material, never cited David Jacobs, never cited the theory of nothing, never cited Reichenbach, never cited all these other researchers who already put out all the negative math. Yeah, was it in the discovery of nothing? It says there is nothing to fill without a previous empty. Isn't Terrence Howard that guy? An ex-actor? He was an actor. Now all of a sudden he wants to be a physicist, and he was the one showing mathematical models. But I did a video criticizing it, showing, hey man, I'm really upset that this guy would come on Joe Rogan talking all this shit and not even mention all these researchers here that already theorized it, already showed models of all this stuff, and he's just bringing this out like this is just his shit. He did this. Yeah. Is that the guy, Terrence Howard? I lose track of names. Christopher Langan is on my list, but I don't know why, because I don't know who he is. But Christopher Langan is already on my list. Let's see. Space Busters. Who's that? Who's Space Busters? That's not Ben Davidson, is it? No. Who's Space Busters? Let's see. Dale Pond is still around? Dale Pond is still around? Absolutely not, man. If Terrence Howard is that guy, then no, quit trying to push him on me. No. If he's somebody else, I'll apologize. But if he's that guy that I'm thinking of went on Joe Rogan, yeah, no, absolutely not. You need to watch my Terrence Howard video. Myth Vision. That's the guy I like. Yeah, that's right. Myth Vision. I'm going to write that down. Thank you. Never heard of Fullerton Informer. I haven't. So Rex Bear is of the Leak Project, right? I remember, you know what? I'm probably just being silly. I'm probably just being a child. But I do remember that Rex Bear had several guests back to back all bashing me or taking shots at me real on the down low. That's Leak Project, isn't it? I ain't thought about that in a long time. That was some years ago. Back then, I had everybody taking shots at me. Let's see. Ashton Forbes was a great guest. When he was on my channel, we showed some really awesome footage. Yeah, he was a great guest. I got Chuck Swindoll Jr. on the list already. Stellium 7, Gnostic Informant, Myth Vision, Leak Project. Rizwan Verk. Isn't he a mathematician? Rizwan Verk. Isn't he a mathematician that deals in simulation theory, or he's a computer programmer, deals with multiverse theory or something? I don't remember, but I got him on my list. So I even put a note next to it, so I'm keeping him on the list. You guys know who I'm talking about? Let's see. Ashton going hard lately, right? I got Whitney Webb on the list right here, man, but I just don't know, man. She's polarizing too. Whitney Webb, it's hard for me to talk about anything political without naming the people I think they're the guiltiest. So it's very hard, man. So I don't know about that. Benjamin Fulford. He's not a galactic fed. He's not one of the Patriot Pacification Program guys. I could be wrong, and if I am, I apologize. But I don't really know who he is. Benjamin Fulford. Who is he? Somebody just named him. Massimo Citro is more than welcome on my channel anytime. I didn't even know he was around. I've read his book when I was in prison. Massimo Citro is like a mathematician, theoretical physicist. He's got some really awesome stuff. Massimo Citro is also one of the theoretical physicists who is putting out the vortex math conclusions and showing that our arithmetic shows us that there is an anti-arithmetic available. There is another side to our arithmetic. So, yeah, I definitely would like to have Massimo Citro. I've quoted him a few times too in my Opus and Cipher research. Massimo Citro, man. So it's Rupert Sheldrake that talks about the morphogenic fields. Okay, all right. Well, he's on my list. Okay, I've never heard of Nassim Martin Davis. I've never heard of Nassim Haramein. Somebody said Benjamin Fulford is a part of the Patriot Pacification Program. Yeah, I'm trying to hear it. Galactic Federation are just waiting for Trump to give the clue. Y'all sit down, don't do nothing, man. Just trust the plan, man. Everything's 5D chess. Trump's not that buffoon that we all grew up knowing. He's not. He plays 5D chess. Absolute mind. It is mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing what people are made to believe. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Tyler Ugalde, Red Pill Rabbit Hole. That sounds pretty cool. I've never heard of him. I've never heard of Red Pill Rabbit Hole, but it sure sounds good. What do y'all think about that? Keep him on the list? I don't think Crow 77 is going to be a good fit. Last I heard, I think his wife hated my guts. It was a no deal. Let's see. You think Benjamin Fulford is a Rockefeller? I wouldn't doubt it. I don't even know. I don't know who he is, so I don't even know. Kurt Metzger, the Jimmy Dore co-host. I don't watch Jimmy Dore, so I don't even know who he is. I would like to see a few more females in the field. Nassim that's three. Even Jeff Stout, there's three people, man, talking about Nassim. Jeff, you didn't say if you wanted to come on the channel or not, because you know we can chop it up about old times. In my fence jumping days, running from the Bedford police. I knew every backyard in the neighborhood. I've got Joseph Farrell already on the list. Got 2 of his books right here. Oh, that's good shit. Good times. Who's Fractal Woman? OG? Anytime. All right, Jeff. I'll be hitting you up. Yeah, I'm not impressed with Terrence Howard at all. So Land of Kim, I've heard that one again. The guy that took Jay Anderson around pyramids. Oh, so the Land of Kim is associated with Jay Anderson. Okay. I'm not impressed with Jay Anderson, man. And he may have some good material, but you know what? Anybody can travel the world, man, taking pictures and asking questions and then fool people into believing he's an authority on something for which he knows nothing about. Anybody can do that. Melissa Dykes from Truth Stream Media. Okay, there's a female name I haven't heard before. Let me write that down. What is Melissa Dykes Truth Stream Media about? You ain't gonna get me put on some type of watch list, are you? I'm gonna write her name down. All right, got it. Got it. Sarah Westall. Where do I know that name from? Who is Sarah Westall? There's a name I haven't heard in a while. David Ewing Jr. David Ewing Jr. I haven't heard that name in a while either. So I want to know who Sarah Westall is because it's a name that I have heard before. I'm going to put David Ewing Jr. down. I just don't, I'm so busy with my own research and my own presentations. I don't have time to look at everybody's stuff. I haven't, but I'm making time. Dale Holmes has been on the channel before. What's he up to now? What's he doing now? Dale Holmes, one of the good guys. He can come back. Leaving Babylon. That's Madeline from British Columbia. Monica Farrow. That's another female I haven't heard of. I'm going to put her down. Madeline. Yeah. I know this other female that should be on the show because she knows a lot of people. She is, her name's Monica, but she ain't never going to come on the channel. Madeline from British Columbia. All right. Leaving Babylon. Man, I'm learning all kinds of them I never even heard of before. Sarah Westall has good content, but she does sell weird sups. If you can look past that. I can look past that. Some people got to make $1. I mean, shit. I mean, providing content's not easy, guys. It's very absorbing. Take Paul Knight, Black Sheep Researcher. Never heard of him. Catherine Austin Fitz is another name that I've heard before. I can't place her. I'm going to write her name down until somebody tells me something I don't want to hear. Catherine Austin Fitz. Who is it? Who is it? What's she talking about? I'm not doing Q&A today. Off the chain. Austin Henry Layard, Nineveh Remains. He's not alive anymore. That book was written in the 1890s. Austin Henry Layard. Justin Holt, what are you talking about? Nineveh and Its Remains is a book I have in my library. Yeah, it was published over 100 years ago. You must have made a mistake. That guy's not around anymore. Yeah, Ham Graham Cock ain't coming on my channel. Not unless he wants to debate. Then he's more than welcome. L.A. Marzulli. That's another name I forgot about. Marzulli. Tommy Truthful. Is he still doing things with Donut Factory? I haven't heard from those guys in a long time. I haven't really heard from them ever since I got away from the Discord group. Yeah, the Archaix Discord group was hijacked. It became toxic. I totally left. I've never been back to Discord. Discord is exactly what it says it is. Discord. Tommy Truthful. Donut. I haven't heard from Donut Factory in a while. Melissa has been on InfoWars. Damn, InfoWars. That's Greg. I need to put Greg on here. Yeah, man. Mr. Reese needs to come on Archaix. He's a pretty knowledgeable guy. Chop it up. I like his voice. I could give Greg Reese just give him a script and have him read the whole script, and I can put Archaix images and research with it, and it would be a fantastic video. He's got the voice of a badass narrator's voice. Yeah, Billy Carson's not coming around. No way. I'm waiting for something big to happen, like a bunch of people get together and do a class action or some type of badass lawsuit against Billy Carson. All the stuff I've heard in the field about all the stuff going on with that little clique. Yeah, man. One of these days, we're going to read about it in the newspaper that somebody just sued the hell out of them. Wouldn't surprise me. Logan of Decode Your Reality doesn't even need to be mentioned. He's more than welcome to come on the channel anytime he wants to. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ismail Perez, absolutely not. I don't really entertain the Patriot pacification crap or galactic feds and all that. I ain't trying to hear it. Who is Dave Murphy? Is that allegedly Dave? I don't know who either one is. I don't know who Dave Murphy is. I don't know who allegedly Dave is. I do know that I've heard both names before. And I do know that sometime this month, I'm doing like a round table or something. I'm not even sure what it is, but I'm going to be a guest, and Martin Leakey's going to be a part of it. It's with Rise Above. And I know allegedly Dave's going to be a participant. I don't know who else can be a participant. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. I'm always last to find out. So for some of you who are just absolutely looking for incredible research material, you're really interested in the Archaix archaeology, the aspect of archaeology that is revealed in the Archaix research, I have two authors you need to check out. One of them, phenomenal books, blow your mind. Jonathan Gray, all these books. If you want to know what's really been found, technologically advanced stuff, what's really been found in the ancient world to show the pre-flood world, different biospheres, technologically advanced secrets, man, from all different time periods, you need to read Jonathan Gray. Here's 5 of his books right here. He may have a 6th. I'm not quite sure. I think I got them all. This 5 Jonathan Gray books. So he used to have a website called beforeus.com. You have to get on the dark web to be able to find it now. I think he took it off the regular Google. I'm not sure. But Dead Man's Secrets is the book that made him famous. This is the guy you need to read if you really want to understand that, man, our world is not what you think and that we have been technologically advanced before. And then the other author you need to read, and he's more than welcome on my channel. He will always be one of my personal heroes, is David Hatcher Childress. David Hatcher Childress wrote all these books. They are fantastic. He is an impeccable researcher. His bibliographies are what educated me because I ordered a bunch of the books in his bibliographies, and I read those books from the early 1900s and the 1800s and the 1700s. This man kept me busy for 15 years going through his bibliography and ordering all these books. Book Tree Press in San Diego literally published books because they're in the David Hatcher Childress library. They're books that he cited. Yeah, man, these books are amazing. They're not small. May look small on screen. These books are not small at all. They are packed. David Hatcher Childress, Jonathan Gray, Emmanuel Velikovsky, Harold T. Wilkins, Hans Bellamy, and Thor Heyerdahl, and Professor L.A. Waddell. These are the men that you need to get your education from, not these shills like Graham Hancock, Andrew Collins, Rand Flemath, Billy Carson, Jimmy Corsetti, Matt LaCroix. None of this comic book version Mad Magazine Facebook educated crap. These men will give you the business. So, let's see. Oh, yeah, it's absolutely embarrassing. Here's the Emerald Tablets from the 1950s. This is the original Emerald Tablets from the 1950s that Billy Carson wrote an entire book called the Emerald Tablet of Thoth and based all his material on, only to find out that he tried to pass off something as real that was invented in 1952 by an author named Doreal. Here's the original Doreal version. It's all fake. Has nothing to do with reality. There's nothing in the field called the Emerald Tablets. There is an old document called the Emerald Tablet, and it's just a paragraph, and it's small in medieval texts. in Rosicrucian text. But there are no emerald tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. All that was invented in the 1950s. Billy Carson, being Facebook educated and didn't actually chase the bibliography and find out what the source materials were going to, didn't find Dorial, didn't understand Dorial was making all this up. And Billy Carson published an entire book basically showing off his ass, passing it off as fact when it's all complete fiction. It's all BS. It's embarrassing. I have an acquaintance, David Morgan. All through the 90s, the 80s and the 90s, he was really popular. Early thousands. He used to be the author of the Morgan Report on the silver markets. This is his published book. I've done a video or two with David Morgan, and he is always welcome to come back on the channel and give us any further information about where he thinks the markets are going, or what's affecting the markets, or if silver is still viable, should we continue to invest in it, or should what's going on with that market. This is the guy that's going to give us the business. He's also he's a strong believer in God too, and he has his own YouTube channel. But David Morgan is also, I'm probably going to invite him soon back onto the channel as well. But this is the author of the Morgan Report, David Morgan. He's on YouTube right now. I told you guys the other day about, I had Eric Dubé's book, 200 Proofs the Earth is not a spinning ball. Here it is right here. I don't know if you can read it. The title, I don't know why Eric got the title so dark. You can't see it. Even in good lighting, you can't really see the title. Everything's reflected. Yeah, that's Eric Dubé. And the last book I'll share with you today is Michelle Melendez. She's been on my channel as well, and I believe she just came out with book 2. But she's given us the business on Hawaii, the land grab, the Maui fires, what was really going on. And this is compelling, because if she's right about this right here, then these technologically advanced weapons that are destroying all these neighborhoods just to build in new real estate projects, it's corrupt as hell. It means that the elite are just bypassing all the rules and regulations. They can't go in there and build what they want to, so they just destroy it. And they don't care how many people die. And they're using secret technologies to do it, acting like it's a natural disaster when there's nothing natural about it. And then they come in here and they rebuild what they want to rebuild, because it was an act of God and it wasn't something else. Because most insurance companies won't cover acts of God. So whole neighborhoods, communities, and cities can be wiped off the map. And if it's declared a natural disaster, insurance companies are insulated from that. And it allows the big real estate moguls to come in and just build what they want to do and just screw everybody who just lost their homes. So anyway, yeah, Roseanne Barr would be fun. All right. Seven Bomar, he's on the list. I already told you Chris Langan's on the list. I still don't know who Dave Murphy is. Did I miss the comments? Would somebody please repost who is Dave Murphy? Is he the same as allegedly Dave? And what is the difference? Who's Dave Murphy and who is allegedly Dave? Do I put them on the list? I'm asking you guys. Let's see. Chat is flying today. So, okay, someone said yes. Yes, he's the same as allegedly Dave. Okay, cool. That makes it easier. I just put one of them on the list. Dave Murphy. So, okay, I'm going to keep him on the list. I don't know what his message is. I don't know, but I don't need to know. And that's how highly I regard Rise Above. Because if Rise Above is going to have him as a guest, I don't need to second guess that. He's going to stay on the list. Dave Murphy is going to stay on the list as allegedly Dave. Okay. Who is Bernardo Kastrup? Or Bernardo Kastrup? Who is that? Do you guys know? So Bernardo Kastrop, and I didn't get a nay or a, I didn't get a hey, listen, Roseanne, somebody said Roseanne Barr is a Zionist. That's not a deal killer for me. That's not a deal killer for me, because if she openly wants to talk about her Zionist views, I will openly turn this whole entire interview into something comical, and we'll just start talking about all kinds of things Zionists have been doing in the past 150 years. You know, if I'm talking to a Zionist about Zionist issues, shoot, we're gonna have a blast. We're gonna have a blast, because I'm gonna be naming all the things they've been implicated in, and I would like to hear what her answers are. Yeah, that's not a deal killer for me. That just opens the door on the conversation. We can go. Yeah, if she's not offended about promoting Zionist views on my channel, she can't be offended about my anti-Zionist views and all the information that I can bring to the table. Can't be offended. Okay, Bernardo Castro, really good book. Okay, cool. Dax says she is not a Zionist. Okay, well, you just killed my dream, man. All right. So hard. It's so hard. It is so hard to figure people out unless they just tell you who they are. I can't go with what other people say. I got to look people up. I'm doing this to get this video, to get this list, so I can give it to Big John, so Big John can start reaching out and contacting all these people, so we can get all these different vantage points here in Archaix. That's what I want to do. But in order to do that, I'm getting it from you, and then I'm gonna vet them. I'm gonna go through and look up all their channels and all their stuff. Who is Nick Hinton? Somebody said his research kind of parallels my own, so that kind of intrigued me. Who is Nick Hinton? And was that a yes or a no on Dan Winter? Because several people talked about Dan Winter and all that, but I didn't see a yes or a no. I didn't see anybody say anything negative or bad about him. So can I get a real quick, was that a yes or a no on Dan Winter? And I've added Kastrop to the list, but who is Nick Hinton? So I'm asking you for Nick Hinton and Dan Winter right now. Dan Winter is amazing. Okay, Dak. Oh, there's Clay's Pigeon. No Dan Winter. Man, you guys got me playing tug of war. So Dan Winter and Nick Hinton. I haven't seen anybody make a comment on Nick Hinton yet. Let's see. Fat Cats too. This chat is funny. Yeah, it is. Let's see. Roseanne will put it out there, huh? Math Powerland. That's an interesting. I've never heard of that one. Kastrop is a PhD in philosophy and computer science. Well, that would be an interesting conversation. You guys know my position. I'm not impressed with the PhDs. I would very much love to find someone at the doctorate level who would debate me on world chronological systems. If their positions are different than the Archaix chronology, I would love to debate I would do it live. I would do it without any research notes whatsoever. If there are anybody out there who is at doctorate level and they actually believe that the history of the world is unfolded like other people say, Graham Hancock and all this stuff, man, I would love to debate them. I don't think you'll find any. Most doctorate level historians are going to be very, very conservative. And none of them are chronologists. I have not yet met a single doctorate level chronologist. Not one. Chronology requires a multidisciplinary approach to history, and that's really frowned upon in academia. So Kastrop sounds pretty good. Tom Cohen, I know the name. Okay, Dan Winter is off the list. I'm sorry. That's all you had to say. I'm not going by anybody's opinion. Somebody just listed something that can be verified. Dan Winter hangs out with Elena Danon. That's done. I'm done with that. Yeah, I'm not entertaining the Galactic Federation, the Pleiadian star system, aliens coming to rescue us, all this really weird mystical occult Trump fanaticism and MAGA, and I'm not patriot pacification shit. I'm done. Yeah, done with that shit. Dave Chappelle, is he alive? He and I chop it up. He and I could chop it up. I just didn't know he's live. I've listened to some audio tapes of his stand-up comedy routines. They're hilarious. Yeah, Dan Winter's off the table. I'm trying to hear it. Yeah, and if Dan Winter has any good books out there you guys want to recommend, I don't mind going through them and doing a book review. You guys know I like my book reviews. Math Power is good. I've never heard of them. Okay, so I still haven't seen, unless I'm missing it. No one said anything about Nick Hinton, his research parallels. So I'm gonna keep him on there. I'll have to look at him myself. I have to look him up myself, I guess, or I can't keep up with the chat. One of them. Chappelle's a clone. I've already got Alex from Donut Factory on here. Allegedly, Dave's on here. Santos and Max Egan are on here, but man, I don't know how I might have to do that for Archaix Underground. We're building that right now. Michael Talbot, man, he got me started in simulation theory. Just got me thinking about it. I hadn't bought it yet, but man, I read his book, The Holographic Universe. And if Michael Talbot is still alive, he is absolutely invited to Archaix to talk about that book and any furtherance of his theories. I read that book. It was great. The Holographic Universe. What do y'all think of Tori Says? Like a year and a half ago, somebody was trying to connect us. And I don't remember what was going on in my life that just never made it happen. You guys know better than I do, because I'm even in social media. I'm more of an anchorite than anything else. Jim Brewer, that's a name that's familiar to me. Woo! I've already got Jason Jordani on here. He's already on the list. I've seen one comment about Tori. Tori Says, Otto Chenault, I don't know. I have Forbidden Archaeology. So Michael Cremo is also. Yeah, let me put Michael Cremo up here real quick. I didn't know he was live. But I've read Forbidden Archaeology with Richard Thompson and Michael Cremo. And yes, Michael Cremo was certainly. I would love to talk to Michael Cremo about uniformitarian dating methods. Because I have a growing list of all the times uniformitarian dating got it wrong. And he does too, because it's in Forbidden Archaeology. Roseanne is always talking to Wano Saving. That takes Roseanne off the, yeah, she's off. Out, done. Okay, so Jim Brewer. Tell me about Jim Brewer. Why do I need to add him to the list? Okay, Tori Says, Mary Maloney says she's a total egomaniac. Wow. Okay. Mr. Talbot died in 1992. I read the book in like maybe 2001 or 2002. Wow. Tori Says it's not getting favorable comments here. Yeah, like I said, Karen Hamilton, the Roseanne Barr, she came on the channel and she's all pro-Israel and all that. That's not a deal killer. Because if that's her staunch position, then she should be able to have the maturity to be in somebody who's completely anti-Israel. And I will sit there and explain my reasoning, and she can answer it herself. Yeah, that's not a deal killer. If somebody totally disagrees with me on stuff, believe me, I've been trying to get people to debate for a while. Those who are qualified. I don't want to debate a peon. I don't want to debate somebody who hasn't deserved their position in the field. I don't want to debate somebody who has no following. Because they haven't put the research out. They haven't done the legwork. You guys got to remember, man, I'm a YouTube baby. 5 years. I'm a YouTube baby compared to a lot of channels that are out there that have been around since 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. My channel started in 2019 with a single video, and a year later in 2020, I released my second video. So yeah, I'm a YouTube baby, but I am not an infant in the publishing and research world. I was already pretty established before I ever started YouTube. So Jim Brewer's a must. I got him on the list. I don't know who he is though. I don't know, but yeah, somebody coming on the channel, man, being all pro-Zionist, all that does is open the door for me to be able to show them alternative perspectives. And I understand they are raised and programmed into that perspective. So I'm not really talking to the individual I'm debating with. I'm talking to the public who's listening to the details. That's what makes it worth it to me. Michael Cremo. Good suggestion. Good suggestion. Let's see. Jim from the movie Half Baked. That's the first person to Clay, man. You're the first person to actually. That's weird. You're the first person to actually suggest somebody just because they're in a movie. That's pretty good. Interesting. So we got some other people that like Tori. Jim Brewer. Okay. So, I really don't know what's going on around me, guys. In social media, I don't. Zetetic Warrior, huh? I guess that's a reference to Zetetic Astronomy. Let's see. I haven't come across research of ancient cloning facilities. No. I haven't seen that. That would be pretty interesting. So what about who is this? We got I'm going the wrong way. Hold on, I'm going the wrong way. I should be getting close to the done with my list. Tyler Ugalde of Red Pill Rabbit Hole. Can anybody tell me anything about Tyler Ugalde of Red Pill Rabbit Hole? Haven't heard that one. Tanya Brown. Tanya Brown, I know this is a long shot. I just seen somebody mention your name. I've seen you in the chat before. But Tanya Brown, like I know this is a real long shot. But is there any chance that you went to Harwood Junior High in Euless, Texas? Tanya Brown. I know it's probably a very common name. Let's see. Harwood Junior High is in Bedford, Texas. Trinity High School is in Euless, Texas. Let's see. Still looking. Mike T. Scott Adams. Is that Patriot Street Fighter? Kelly Metis? Is Scott Adams the same as Patriot Street Fighter? I ain't heard from him in a while. Julie Nyington, Patriot Street Fighter, Praying Medic, X22, Wano Saving, they're all the same. The Patriot, the Frog News Network, he ended up dying. Mike Penny, he ended up getting caught up in a conspiracy with a child molester. Man, I remember a bunch of these Patriot pacification agents, man. They were all in on it. And it's like the CIA and the Mossad just opened up their bank accounts and were paying all these people to say all kinds of wild shit. Trying to remember the name, but I can't remember it right now. If that's the same Scott. Guy Anderson, who is that to me? Who is Guy Anderson? Does he do interviews? Does he have a platform? Is he a researcher, an author? Guy Anderson is a name that I'm familiar with, but I don't know why. So Chris Mathau, Forbidden Knowledge News. I've been on his show 3 times. Or I've been on his show 2 times and he's been on my show 1 time. Okay, Tyler Ugalde is a Christian and has had a near-death experience. Okay. Yeah, Mud Fossil's been on my channel. Roger. Satan would be a good discussion. Just as fake as Jesus. Scott Adams is a simulationist. Okay. Jim Brewer is a comedian. Well, both of them are on my list. I'm keeping them on my list. Guy Anderson, Cabbage Patch Kids cloning. Okay, I know the name. I know his name. Michael Talbot passed away. Okay, Denali Princess. Denali Princess. I went to Harwood Junior High. Well, that's where I went. That's where I went. I went to Harwood Junior High for 7th grade, 8th grade, and in the first 2 weeks of 9th grade, I ran away from home, and I have not been back since. In the first 2 weeks of 9th grade. And for 2 years, from 15 years old, 16 years old, and 17 years old, I was living on the streets. I was working as a carpenter. I was doing roofing. I was doing all kinds of odd jobs. And only in the last 30 days I hooked up with an old buddy. I thought he was a buddy, John Ernesto. And but I didn't know in the time since I'd seen John Ernesto, he was already went full criminal. For about 3 weeks, he and I hung together, and we were doing stupid shit, using a pistol, shooting happy faces and stop signs, and we wahooed some beer, stole some beer and shit. And then we turn around. You guys know the story. Halloween night, 1990, carjacked this girl, and everything went downhill after that. But yeah, Harwood Junior High, Bedford, Texas. That's where I went. 7th, 8th grade, and I went to Spring Garden Elementary before that in Bedford, Texas. The reason people are always looking at Trinity High School trying to find me in it. I get notifications from the Trinity High School website all the time that people are actively searching for me, trying to find me. I guess they're trying to see if I'm real or not, but they don't understand. I never made it to Trinity High School. The only reason I was on the roster at Trinity High School is because between 7th and 8th grade, I went to summer school for 2 months at Trinity High School to get my grades up. And that's the only experience I have at Trinity High School in Euless. But I'm not in any of the yearbooks at Trinity High School because I never made it. I never graduated 9th grade. I have an 8th grade education. And then when I went to prison, I got a GED. And then once I got my GED, I went to college on the Stevenson unit in Cuero, Texas. Got into a whole lot of trouble, went straight to maximum security. From maximum security, I made it back up to minimum security, and then I was approved for college again. And I went to college in Huntsville, Texas. I went to Lee College. I took a bunch of classes at Coastal Bend College in West Texas, and I took a bunch of classes in Huntsville at Lee College. And the reason I don't have a degree is because I only took classes for which I was interested. I do not give a damn about all the establishment BS. I only took classes when they offered electives that were interesting to me. And that's it. That's my story right there as far as my education. Denali Princess, Harwood Junior High, 1986. No, Harwood Junior High, 1988 and 89. I'm 52 now. Ah, you went to Trinity too. That's pretty cool. Well, we got a friend. Oh, Jeff Stout. You're right. It was Tanya Branham. You put Braun here, but her real name is Tanya Branham. And she hunted me down about 3 years ago when she found out I was on YouTube. And I have exchanged messages with Tanya Branham. She was married, had kids. I just remember her. She wasn't an old flame or anything. She wasn't even a real close friend. She was just somebody that I remembered very clearly from school. And she had found out I was on YouTube. There's about five people from Bedford, Texas, that remember me in school. And after they heard my story, I had been in prison. I disappeared because I went to prison, and they were like, "Oh man, I couldn't believe it. It's crazy." Because I was like the class clown. No one would have ever bet on me going to prison. Oh man, I dressed well. I come from good family, and I was like the class clown. And things that interested me, I made A's. If it didn't interest me at all, and I thought they were gaslighting me or something, I made D's. Let's see. All right. All right, let's see. Mel K. I know you. I know. Yeah, I see you corrected it, Jeff Branham. Yeah, it was Tanya Branham. Let's see. All right. Michael Jacobs is a hard no. You don't get on social media and brag about being ex-CIA and actually have smart, intelligent people understand. Scott McKay, that's a Patriot Street Fighter. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, man. Man, this is like a trip through memory lane because 2020 and 2021 and 2022, man, it was so crazy listening to all these guys. 2023. There's only one person still really hanging on that's got a huge following, and that's David Nino Rodriguez. Geraldine Carver, Heather. Why you mentioned Heather Locklear? Guy is a friend with Campbell. That's why I know the name. That's why I know the name. Guy Anderson. All right. Cool. That's why I know. Yeah, add him to the list. Add him to the list. Let's see. Yeah, I was thinking of Scott McKay. That's right. Naya's Corner of the Universe. Has anybody else heard of that? She passed away. Oh, she's like Mia's glass slippers then. So Guy's been on Martin's channel. That's why I knew his name. I knew his name. I just couldn't place him. So I got Mike and Barry of Alphabetic. It's been a while since I've been in communication with a lot of these people. I've been so busy and been going through all kinds of chaos in my personal life. Wim, that's the Godjvlamasti, whatever his name is. Yeah, on BitChute, his name is Wim. That I can go with. I can call him Wim. You saying Scott is very ill? Kelly Metis, Scott McKay. That's sad. I used to watch. Oh, I remember the main one that was really scooping people in, and he shouldn't have been able to do that because he told us who he is. Mil-Spec Ops, Monkey Works. Yeah, man. Talking about all the planes and showing all the flight deals. He was ex-military, admitted to be ex-military. He called himself Mil-Spec Ops, and he had all military code names for the Brown Zone and for all the major players and stuff. And he's always talking about all these people going to all the flight paths that are going out to Guantanamo Bay. Yeah, man, 100% he was doing exactly what he was paid to do, and he had a huge following. And every bit of that was fake. Every bit of it was fake. He's another one. Isn't there two Derek Bros? I keep getting confused. There's an older Derek Bros who keeps getting like censored. And there's a younger Derek Bros who's been on my channel before. I think they are spelled different. Dak, get off that alcohol, man. Get off those mushrooms. You remember who your name is. We all know you by DAC. So I think that might be. So Robert Edward Grant, is he the same? So is he the same? So Robert Edward Grant is not the same as David Edward right here. This guy, David Edward, is not the same as Robert Edward Grant, right? The one that worked. What's the name of the one that works with John Levy? Oh, I got too many books out, guys. I did it to myself. So, Robert Edward Grant and David Edward. These are two different guys. I don't know either one of them. So, how did you get on my screen, Planet Newfoundland? How did that happen? So I'm going to go to the bottom of my chat and I'm going to look to see. Okay, No on Robert Edward Grant. So Robert Edward Grant is somebody different from David Edward. Okay. Well, David Edward and I are not going to agree on anything on the Atlantis deal, especially with him citing that shill Jimmy Corsetti. It's not going to happen. We're never going to get common ground on that topic. But who is David Edward Grant? Is David Edward Grant one of the guys who isn't he like an eccentric, wealthy guy who's done some pretty penetrating research on the Great Pyramid? Is that the guy I'm thinking of? Robert Edward Grant is friends with Shirley Carson. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. We're all judged by the company we keep. So Robert Edward Grant being a polymath is not impressive to me. It's not impressive to me at all. A research bibliography that makes sense and has a logic train with conclusions that people that are unlearned can follow, that impresses me. So can anybody give me some Robert Edward Grant books that I can check out? He may be the business. I don't know. I have to check it out. But his association to Billy Carson is going to be very questionable to me. That's already a negative. It's already a negative, man. So I'm glad to know they're different people. So Robert Grant is a Gaia host. Well, that's a negative too. Okay, Robert. So it's Sir Robert Edward Grant, a polymath, an inventor, an entrepreneur, a mathematician, and a philosopher. That's a lot. That's a lot to take in. That's a lot to take in. Billy Carson claims to be an inventor and into aerospace engineering, and he just filed some stupid ass patents that have never been approved. I believe that Terrence Howard did the same thing. So I don't know. Is it the same? Is it the same boat? File some patents and claim you've done something, change the world. I don't know. Let's see. Ashton Forbes, Joseph Farrell, David Hatcher Childress. We just talked about him. Dutch Sense. I like Dutch Sense. He's got all that earthquake data. I wonder with the level of research on pinpointing earthquake activity that Dutch Sense has done, I wonder if he subscribes to flat Earth theory or if he thinks that we're on a globe. I don't know, but Dutch Sense is on my list. I don't know who Dr. Justin Sledge is. Maybe you guys, or Black Earth Productions. Dr. Justin Sledge and Black Earth Productions. I don't know what neither of those are. And those are the last two on my list. And I'm done with this list. So I'm just curious. You guys tell me, what do you think of Dr. Justin Sledge? What's he about? And what is Black Earth Productions? Well, we're done. Once I get those answers. So Dutch Sense subscribes to the globe model. Okay. That's not a deal killer. It just tells me where he's at. Let's see. That's really interesting, Monica. You always do provide that insight. He secretly does, but he has to play the game. Don't we all? Danny Goler. I got him on the list. Nicole Murphy is good with sky movement. I've never heard that name, but it's a female, and I'm just going to have to go ahead and add her to the list. Check her out. We need more females in the field. Nicole, what is it? I lost track. Nicole Murphy. All right. There we go. So Dr. Justin Sledge and Black Earth Productions. Anybody know? I'm still looking. Still not looking. Sledge is esoterica. Okay. It's not a deal killer. I'm just not really into it. Indigenous creature. I already know this. I already know. He says, I've mentioned Jason's name and channel on a lot of these channels. My comment is usually deleted. Yeah, I already know. There's a whole bunch of people out there that are really hoping I just go away. And because I know they're hoping going away, and because I know they're not going to come to the table, I'm just going to make me more and more aggressive. I'm cool with that. Absolutely cool with it. It's too late to be polite. We're either going to talk civilized, or I'm just going to dissect your whole little empire. Stephen Sadlier, spiritual teacher, financial background, suppressed knowledge, Enlightenment TV, author, movies. Okay, that's a name I've never heard. Stephen Sadlier. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of people in the field who don't want to come to the table because they know their information is shill and it's not gonna survive any type of intelligent scrutiny. That's fine. It's time that we start looking at some of these smaller channels out there and bring them up to our level so we can go ahead and remove the old guard because they're full of shit. I'm all for that. I'll spearhead that. Stephen Sadlier. I've never heard of him. I will look him up. Shaking My Head Productions. I've never heard of that one either. I sure like it though. Shaking My Head Productions. What are they about? Man, I'm learning a lot. I've never heard of a lot of these you guys have talked about. Cat the Fryan. Never heard of that one. Yeah, we were all small channels at one time. So being a small, little, tiny channel is not a deal killer. It's not. Dustin Nemos is a clown. He's just a clown. He's another one that defaulted to my criminal history. I don't care about his biblical worldview. I don't care about all this. I've already dissected the Bible. Yeah, he needs to be more mature. Yeah, he's not the only one. There are several, like Gnostic Academy also defaulted to my criminal history. Jimmy Corsetti defaulted to my criminal history. Dustin Nemos is a petulant little child. He's not an intellectual. I am not impressed with him at all. And I already had Big John go into his paywall and pull a bunch of information because I do intend on doing a expose on Dustin Nemos because I am unimpressed. Absolutely unimpressed. Let's see. Yeah, I've already put out all my whole Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is all literary. I've already put all that data out. Dustin Nemos hasn't even responded to it. Yeah, I still have the same challenge out there. If there is anybody out there listening to my voice right now, and you have any problem whatsoever with any of my research, any facet of my research from Dark Scriptures playlist, Phoenix Phenomenon, Nemesis X, I don't care what it is. All you have to do is itemize in a bullet point presentation everything you disagree with, and I will post it for free to my entire Archaix empire. All 13 Facebook groups, BitChute, Odyssey, all of YouTube. I'll do a YouTube video just reading to the public everything you're claiming I'm lying about or I'm wrong about. I'll do that. No one's going to do that for you. I'm offering to do that. Yeah, no one invites themselves to be attacked. Who in the field specifically puts themselves and their research out there and invites people to criticize it? I'm doing it now. I've been doing it for a long time. Not one person has ever come forward and done it. I have said the same speech many, many times. Super simple. If you got problems with it, with anything that I'm putting out there in the field, itemize it. I will share it with my community. Do a whole YouTube video expressing your view, showing my whole community. Man, he's saying I'm lying about this. I won't even defend myself. I will just tell the community exactly what your positions are as you relate them on a bullet point presentation. It's easy. It's easy. That's all you got to do. And then I'll give answer. I might take 2 or 3 days. I might take a week. I might let people process it. whatever. But it will be all over social media. It will be shared everywhere. And then turn around, I will give answer. And when I do, I'm not holding nothing back. That's how confident I am in every single thing I publish. Yeah, Dustin Nemos, quit crying like a little girl and get that pen ready. That's all you got to do. And once I give answer, that's when we debate. Simple as that. So easy, and no one's done it. Open invitation to everybody out there. A whole consortium of individuals that hate my guts can all work together and put that bullet point presentation. There can be 50 people out there that can't stand Archaix, all working together and pretend you're just one guy and submit that bullet point presentation. That's how confident I am in my research bibliography and in my ability to separate fact and fiction. I've already done the homework. I spent my life doing it. So Dustin Nemos can put his little big boy britches on and get to work. Super easy. Super easy. Still, none of these cowards have done it. None of them. They just talk shit. Super easy. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I heard one of his rants. He's so petulant. It's like, dude, it's real good that you're in social media, because you're out in public talking like that, man, you get handled quick. Sucks, man. Grown men acting like girls. Let's see. Geraldine Ganver. I haven't heard that name. Have not heard that name. Wise Up Channel. I have heard that one. Let's add that. Can I get some yays or nays on Wise Up Channel? Let me get some yays and nays on that. Dennis Rodman would be gold. Are you serious? I'm going to act like you didn't say that. Or Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber? What? You guys got to be, my own community, you got to be trolling me. You got to be trolling me. Let's see. Mind Unveiled. That's a good one. Mind Unveiled is very intriguing. I mean, they're intriguing. I don't know. I'm still indecisive about them. I don't know, man. Mind Unveiled is intriguing to me because they seem to be too young to be that knowledgeable, and they're since the beginning of their channel, it was too much of an excellent production and everything that they pulled together to do the things they did. And I was like, you know what, man, my spidey sensors are going off, and I don't like it. And I even said that publicly multiple times 2 years ago. It's like, man, this is just it's too much. It's too much for me. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave Mind Unveiled alone, because I'm going to respect the fact that they are not connected in any way to any bullshit out there in the field. No controversy, none of that stuff that I'm aware of. I'm just going with my innate sense. I don't know, man. I don't know. If they contacted me and told me what their research backgrounds were, what qualified them to say some of the things they said, and where they got some of the information, I may have a total change of heart. But I just Mind Unveiled is just too much, man. I've already got Asha Logos. Asha Logos is on. Asha Logos is on the list. So yeah, Mind Unveiled is not a no. It's just not a yes as far as me inviting them to the channel. As far as me telling other people high quality content to go look at, Mind Unveiled is going to stay on that list. I would suggest if people are bored and don't want to watch Archaix videos and you need something to do, go to Mind Unveiled. They're definitely going to get you thinking. Matt of Quantum of Conscience is on the list, been on the list. Yeah, I already know Aaron Jane. I already know. Dustin likes to debate and then claim he won the debate. So it's so pedantic. It's so childish. This is why in the professional arena, you write things down, because there's no going back claiming somebody said something they didn't. And and the debate would unfold easily. Yeah, write down everything you disagree with. Let me give answer days later, a week later, or whatever, and we'll see what your integrity is to see if you put my responses to your community. That's going to show the measure of a man. Most people won't do it. When they see my material, they're overwhelmed. They're like, F, cannot believe I just opened up this can of worms. But this is the way it is. And I would really be interested to see if Dustin was man enough to provide that bullet point presentation, because he's going to get some fanfare. There's going to be people all over the world who are going to hear me read his bullet point presentation. All the things that he's saying I'm lying about or I'm in error about, I'm going to freely do it. And I'm not going to defend myself against a single one of them. Close the video out, and then I want to see, because it is the true measure of a man. When I give my rebuttal on YouTube, is he going to share that video with his community? No, he's not. I promise you he's not, because I'm going to overwhelm him with data, because Dustin Nemos is a man of pretended intelligence, not real intelligence. I've showed you guys the difference. Okay, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all. I haven't heard of Jason Q. I haven't heard of Jason Q in a long time. It's been he and I have talked before. We've done a video together before. I haven't heard Jason Q in a long time. Very knowledgeable guy, knows his history. He reads books and has an eidetic memory. Very impressive. I don't quite know why Jason Q always had some guy there that's like, what's this guy for? Always in all his videos, this guy was there. It kind of turned me off. It's like, why is this guy here? What's he doing? Well, I mean, Jason Q should be able to do all this by himself. What do you need this guy here for? Doesn't contribute anything. I don't even remember. This years ago. Let's see. I don't know who Baruch Spinoza is. You'd have to I don't know. You have to know. Let's see. I'm done with my list. I don't think I ever got an answer for what I asked. Black Earth Productions. I did Dr. Justin Sledge. Thank you. But Black Earth Productions, would somebody give me a yay or nay on that and why? Real quick, and then we're done. This list is finished. Absolutely done. There's a lot of people coming back to YouTube. Jason Q. Somebody said Jason Q's back. David Icke's back. I'm trying to remember. There's some more, guys. There's some more. Oh, Leak Project. That's right. That's right. Rex Bear is a Zechariah Sitchin and Billy Carson fanboy. You're absolutely correct, man. Yeah, I'm taking him off the list. There ain't no way in hell any intelligent trier of fact will ever listen to that drivel. It's crazy. Okay, now I understand. Now I know why my spidey senses were up on the Leak Project. I remember now. That's right. He promoted all those guys. I'm not trying to hear that. It's like Shill Rogan. Shill Rogan's also promoting all those guys. Jason Q and I got along just fine. We were just bouncing historical facts back and forth. We were like playing historical fact ping ball. Let's see. Eric Sims, never heard of the board of your videos. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people are coming back on YouTube late. Mel K came back to YouTube. You know, Mel K, she's going to get to the bottom of it. She's going to research her ass off. She's going to tell you the business. And she's never going to name anybody who has ever been in and out of Israel. Black Sheep Researcher is a good guy. English dude. Okay. All right, thank you for that. Armored Skeptic, exploring history, religion, philosophy, art, cults. That sounds good. That sounds good. Awesome. Man, we got a long list now, guys. We have a long list. Big John and I are going to get on it. We're going to be sending emails out everywhere. I'm pretty sure a lot of these people have been told by their handlers not to engage, and that's fine. Anybody who doesn't respond to the emails, we're going to be making that public. Yeah, man, it's time. It's time to separate the wheat from the chaff. We need to know what's going on in the field because it's sure going on. Yeah, man. Let's see. Dr. Sledge again. I'm just looking at some of these. Steve Sadlier, Enlightenment TV, spiritual teacher. I got all that. That looks good. Yeah, man. Good little chat, guys. Good little chat. I really appreciate you spending this time with me. We've been going 3 hours and 15 minutes. What in the hell happened? But we did get our list together. Rise Above's always on the list. It should never even been mentioned. Like the Paranormies, like Martin Leakey, and Logan and all them. Yeah, man. Old guard. All right, guys. My heart goes out to Alt Skull. He's mourning right now with Reinhardt's wife and kid. So I really appreciate you guys if you would if one of my moderators would post that link again. Or here, you know what? I can post it. And like I said, I'm going to be a leader, lead by example. You can get with Alt Skull. They'll be able to tell you. As soon as this video's over, I'm going in there donating too. I feel for them. I feel for his boy. Car accident took Reinhardt away. We've done about 5 to 7 videos together. And it just sucks. It sucks. It does suck. All right, let's see here. Man, where'd my comment go? Oh, there it is. Chat's moving so damn fast. Yeah, man, this is good. This has been a good little chat. And listen, if don't get discouraged just because somebody that you like wasn't mentioned, because it's not. I know you did not say Tarot by Janine. Get off my channel, man. Get off my channel with that PS. So there's just no way to itemize everybody in the field, especially when you do a video that's completely unprepared. So that's never bored with your videos. All right, Eric. Yeah, so we never know. You never know. We probably got a lot more people to add to this list. We just didn't get to it yet. But till later, I will holler at you guys. Love you, and I'm getting hungry, and I need some more coffee. And I got a whole bunch of books all thrown everywhere over here. I got to spend the next 20 minutes putting back up.